Very good morning, and thanks for finding our time to tune in on to your favorite TV station. We are the People's Television. Good morning. So many thanks for tuning in. It's your most informative program you can ever find as far as television broadcasting is concerned in Africa and around the world, because this is the only TV station where you will have the opportunity to call in and add up your voice and ideas on national issues. We call it National Discourse. Thank you so very much. My name is Pius Samuel, and today is Thursday. We will be looking at a lot of issues that have happened in and around our country. It's the political season. A lot of things are happening. You know, jamborees here and defections there, name calling here, and you know, some other stuff happening within the polity. But you don't have anything to worry about, because all this is, you know, onto the build-up of the 2019 general elections. You know how our politicians will always go about carrying out the business they know how to do better. We just hope that, you know, it will be devoid of crises, rancor, you know, bitterness, anger, killings, crises, riots, protests at the end of the day. We hope that we'll have a peaceful and seamless election come 2019. And having said that, don't forget also that the Osun State governorship election is coming up in a couple of hours from now, talking about Saturday. The people of Osun will decide who is going to lead them, you know, in the next 4 years, and maybe another 4-year term, if that is anything to go by. But Saturday will be the day that the people of Osun will decide on who takes the mantle of leadership from the outgoing Governor Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who in a couple of months' time will be handing over to a substantive governor-elect. The police have done their redeployment, and then some other, you know, security agencies. But we sincerely believe that INEC is ready for that, you know, event. We sincerely believe that INEC is ready for, you know, that very serious and crucial election, you know, that is coming up, because whatever happened in Osun is really going to transcend into the 2019 general elections, either by proxy or by other means. So we saw what happened in Ekiti. We hope that it will not repeat itself in Osun. Talking about vote buying, INEC has come out to ban the use of smartphones at the polling unit. Will that really curb the issue of vote buying? Will that stop the people from, you know, engaging in inducing voters, talking about party agents? Will the ban of smartphones bring the required sanity we want to see in and around the polling unit? All of these are questions, you know, begging for answers. The security agencies are there. Most of the times they are being alleged to, you know, to be onlookers when all of these things are going on. How are we going to make our electioneering process much more better and transparent? How are we going to ensure that we have an election that will be devoid of malpractices? How are we going to ensure that we have an election where each and every vote will count? In the previous administration, we see where, you know, the power that be at the center is a particular party, and we saw state governors, you know, state levels winning on different platforms. Adams Oshiomhole, you know, did that in the second term, and we can go on and mention a few states where the opposition actually won. But what we are seeing right now is a different narrative. The question is, does our vote really count at this point in time? As we speak, the tribunal handling the Ekiti state governorship election matters has moved to Abuja. This is not what we want to see as a country. This is not what we want to hear as a country. All the time that will be spent, all the money that will be spent, you know, going back and forth because of our judicial system the way it is, you begin to wonder. There are other areas of our economy that those monies can actually be channeled into, but we'll end up using them to, you know, on litigations. If the process was transparent, if the process were to be transparent, if the process were to be credible, if the process were to be free and fair, we won't be talking about an electoral panel moving from Ekiti State to Abuja, because there won't even be any case to answer at all. When are we going to get to that point? When are we going to see an election in this country? We saw what happened in Katsina, Bauchi, and Kogi State during the by-elections. When are we going to get to that point where our elections will be devoid of most of this crisis that we've seen so far? When are we going to move a step forward? Now, from 2015 to 2018, what have we really gained as a nation democratically, looking at our elections, looking at our electioneering processes? Before now, the narrative, in the public space was inconclusive elections, and now we've, will I say, nosedived or skyrocketed to, vote buying. Who knows what the next thing will look like? I think INEC really needs to go back to the drawing board. Our politicians really need to go back to, the talking table, and the electorate really need to go back to their thinking, table. All of us need to come together and draw a conclusion, and draw a very strong conclusion on issues affecting our electoral processes. There is no how a politician will give you any amount for you to vote for him and you expect him to deliver the dividends of democracy to you. Because to that politician, you have already, gotten what you needed at that point in time. So whatever he does or she does while in office, you don't have that right to question him or her. Excuse me. You might not have the opportunity to question him or her. All you need to do is to sit back and watch. Why? Because you had earlier on sold your rights. You had earlier on sold your opportunity. You had earlier on mortgaged your future for just a stipend. And the question is, that money will not even be with you till the eve or till the evening of that particular election. If it stays with you longer, maybe the next morning when results will be officially announced. The question is, will that money really make you richer than you were hours ago before you got the money, or it will make you poorer than you were hours ago before you got the money? A food for thought for you this morning, and I hope that with time things will only just get better. We hope that the Osun State governorship election will be free, fair, credible, transparent, without any iota of vote buying, without security agencies intimidating people, without the electorate not being manipulated, without the electorate not being induced, and without INEC officials compromising the process. Without Nigeria, there won't be an INEC. Without Nigeria, there won't be politicians. Without Nigeria, there won't be electorate. So let's protect the sanctity of Nigeria first before we do any other thing as far as this country is concerned. There are challenges everywhere, from security to economy, to unemployment. Every year we churn out batch A, B, and C of youth corps members, running into their thousands. Most of them still roaming the streets looking for jobs. Why? Because there is no adequate arrangement for the youths who are passing out of school, either for them to acquire skills or for them to be trained in one area or the other, or for them to have the opportunity to gain experience in whatever field of study they decided to go into. None of this is within the framework of all of the political parties seeking for your votes today. Go out there and ask all of the political parties, 92 or 82 or 102, go out there and ask all of them, what is the roadmap for the youth? They will just go around and blab. They won't have anything substantive to tell you. Someone can come out and tell you, I'm going to change the economy of this country in 2 years. How are you going to do it? Give us a roadmap. Give us a blueprint. None of them will give it to you. Every year we have youths churned out. Go and ask all of the political office aspirants what is their roadmap or what are their roadmaps as it relates to job creation. Nobody will tell you anything. So until we as the electorate begin to reorientate ourselves, until we begin to stand and face the truth, until we begin to stand and tell the politicians the truth to their face, not minding what is going to happen, that is when we will have a country where we can sit back and say, yes, this is my country. Enough of the deceit, enough of all of the lies, enough of all of the fake campaign promises, enough of all of the accusation, battering here and there, back and forth. Enough of all of that. If Nigeria must move forward, we need people with sincerity, people that have the idea of how to make the economy better. We need people that will make Nigeria a better place. We need people that will take this country from where we are to where we want to be. I'm going to leave you with this because it's a Thursday edition of New Day. Until we begin to have all of this consciousness embedded within the formation of our lives, we might end up going around circles year after year after year after year. I'll take a short break, and when I come back, we'll hit the phone lines open so I can hear from you also. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
We got a 24/7 light, we got water, we got the best amenities, and when I don't feel like going out, I just watch TV.
Nice. Star Times, right?
Come on, man. Can you get Fox TV on Star Times? Ebony Live TV? Discovery Family? Please.
Yes, ma.
We get all that and more channels safe. The Star Times Classic Bouquet Reloaded is the best deal.
The best.
Well, if you're paying over 10,000 naira for a cable plan, then it has to be good.
Thank you, kid. We pay 1.9.
Shoot it.
Get the best deals on channels like Fox TV, Ebony Live TV, ST Nollywood Plus, Discovery Family, and much more with Star Times Classic Bouquet Reloaded for only 1,900 naira from September 1st to October 31st, 2018. Don't miss out on all the drama, action, and comedy on Star Times. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Small fish in a big pond, but lights, camera, action, and we go beyond. This is our time, we on MTN and Pulse. No, we refuse, so now we can wave our banner. Yo, get ready for what we have to offer from Texas Sports. We got it on M-Pulse. Arts and Science. We got it on M-Pulse. Silence and Games. We got it on M-Pulse. And what? Yo, M-Pulse. The stage is set, so let's own it. They say be this, they say be that, but all we want to be is just us, man. Facts.
Yes, it's work! Buy an MTN SIM and dial *344# to unleash their potential. MTN M-Pulse. Learn, play, shine everywhere you go.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news, analysis, and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Some days, of course, I'll get tired. Some days I will get beat up. Some days I will get knocked down, and I will have some bad days. But I will not stop. This isn't punch the clock and go home for the day. Here, there's no such thing as a weekend. This is an everyday gig. Every day is a Monday. And you might not like that. Me, I love it. To me, every day is a beginning. A new day, a new week, a new shot at life. An opportunity to come out of the gate like a man possessed and attack the day without mercy. Today, I'm putting the pressure on. I am the aggressor. I am on the attack.
You don't get this far. You don't get to this point and just stop.
People that succeed quitting when things get hard. Any path you take to get where you want to be, if that place is worthwhile to go, it's going to be hard. Struggle, pain, misery, frustration, those are signs that you are on the right path. Nobody that is where you want to be has gotten there without these struggles, without the pain. And if you want to be something great, you are going to have to learn to accept the struggle as part of the recipe. Every single day you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I willing to do to get what I want? And if the answer is, whatever the f I have to, you'll get there in time.
It's necessary you take responsibility for it. That you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally. That you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream. And here's something you've got to resolve. Not over till I get through. Not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm going to come back and take the hinges off. That's how you got to do that. You got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination. If you want to make it happen, it's you. That you've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. We can point out many things that can make it inconvenient or can slow us down. But ultimately, it's you.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You got to have a plan.
Don't go to bed without a plan of how you're going to handle the next day. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan.
Productivity is never an accident. I want you to understand that it's not going to happen by luck.
Success is cause and effect, not magic luck or magic fairy dust. Success is easy. It's making a plan and executing the plan every day. Make a plan, work the plan. Make a plan, work the plan. And whenever the plan doesn't work, you change the plan. That's called failure. It's called learning a lesson. It's called adjusting. If you do the work and you do it for a long enough time, you will be successful. Period.
Whatever it is you're bold enough to dream, if you are intentional and deliberate about it, every single day, if you do a little, you're going to wake up one day and your dreams are going to be a reality.
The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. And if you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. To reach goals and overcome obstacles and be the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way. There is only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline. Discipline, the root of all good qualities, the driver of daily execution. Discipline defeats the infinite excuses that say, not today, not now, I need a rest, I'll do it tomorrow. There is only one way, the way of discipline.
There is power in consistency. There is power in doing something over and over and over and over again. There is power in practice.
And your problem is, you are on beast mode Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 10 a.m. to 12, beast mode, 1 to 5.
You keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping.
I challenge you. I challenge you to make up the gap. I challenge you to go from average. I challenge you to go from good. I challenge you to go from great. And I challenge you to be phenomenal. I challenge you to live in beast mode, because beast mode makes more money than average does. Period.
When you are a true hunter, you don't go by time. You go by the gazelle. You don't hunt from 8 to 3. Why? Because the gazelle may not be open from 8 to 3. You hunt until you get a gazelle, and you don't stop until you get one. And then you get another, and then you get another, and you get another.
Hello, thanks for joining us back after that very short break. My colleague Aisha Nimo Jibril is in the studio with me. Aisha, good morning.
Good morning, Bias. Good morning, everybody. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday morning. And of course, tomorrow is Friday, so yeah, you can get in the mood from today. In Abuja City, it is bright, it is not cold, it is not hot. The weather is so friendly, and of course, if you're going out to work, just know that the road is clear. There's no more traffic unlike other days. So you can get out of bed and go about having your day. So I was listening to Pius, give you a bit back and forth, passionately as he always does about these topics. But then again, we're going to be, as usual, opening the phone lines for a very, very important topic. Pius, do you want to tell us that?
Yeah, very important topic, Aisha. A lot of things happened in the course of the week, and especially yesterday evening, when Nigerians were probably trying to relax and take off their minds off the day's job. It's time to unwind and all of that, and suddenly somebody somewhere decided to break the jinx and break our hearts. But thank God, like a comedian would say, our heart is no longer made of glass, it's made of pomo, so it compresses and and expands at will. So as we speak, the federal government says it has suspended the Nigeria Air project. So that's more like a blow,
big one,
yeah, to all of us, after a huge sum of money was put into that project, and now we're being told that it has been suspended. A lot of questions would definitely come to the fore.
Quite worrying, I must say, because all of the reaction that has trailed this, none has been positive. We don't understand fully. Yes, the committee came up with the decision and said, okay, for now it should be suspended. But 2 months ago, when this logo was unveiled, that was what was trending. I can remember it trended for a while. Oh, finally, after the former Nigerian Airways, national carrier that we had, and we thought, oh, that was it. And they came out to give us a light at the end of the tunnel called Nigerian Air. Everyone had the logo that was like one wind blowing, yeah. It was just, it looked very lovely, looked very, attractive. Nigerians wanted to relate with it. Hashtag Nigerian Air, trended and was all over social media, only for us to, go same on Twitter and see that tweet from Hadi Sirika that, they had to suspend it and all of that. That was the topic. It was breaking news. Everyone was talking about it. What is going on? What is happening? So, of course, we know that you out there definitely have a reaction to this. So we're going to open the phone lines right now. You call in and you tell us, your thoughts. Because there have been some naysayers, right from when this Nigerian Air started. And, they've come out to say this was, not a worthwhile investment. This wasn't the right time to do this. This was another way of, siphoning money. I feel with the suspension, it just comes to prove, those people true. Yes, it's suspended. It's not, indefinitely eradicated. But then again, how things like this is. It starts from suspension, and next thing you never hear about it again. Anymore. So it gives the opposition room to come up and say, okay, you're trying to use the money for this, you're trying to use the money for that. So that's why we think you call in. Tell us what you think about this. Do you think the suspension is in the right direction, or do you think not so really? So the phone lines would be open right now. The topic will be on your screen, and then we can, talk and discuss more about that.
That's very true. Either we like it or not, a lot actually went down as far as the launch of that airline was concerned. I know that the launch was done in London a couple of months ago, and few weeks or probably barely a few months into the launch, this is what we are getting. So the question is, are we really prepared, or were we really prepared, to actually venture into these, or we just took the step to gain cheap political points? That's why most times when you see political analysts come to the fore and tell you that, look, this thing is not going to work, most times they don't just talk because they don't want the country to move forward. Maybe they've seen the steps taken, they've seen the antecedents, they've seen the body languages, they've seen the possibilities. They probably carry out a very quick SWOT analysis to see how this is going to work out. And the indices is neither showing a strong positive output or a strong negative input. But if you now judge both indices, you might likely draw a conclusion with the parameters of things you see as far as you are a citizen of the country, and just tell yourself that, look, this thing is not going to work. And maybe that is what is happening. Look at all of the monies that have been thrown into this project, and now the minister is coming out to say it has been suspended. So what happens to the money? Are we going to recover that money? The answer is obvious.
Exactly. That's it. People were saying, okay, these monies, this is another way for this money to, go into the wrong project. I think we need a detailed, we don't just need a tweet, that says, after the FEC meeting, the Heidi Sirika tweeted, because every platform you're seeing, goes back to quote that tweet. That in its official Twitter handle, this is what we need: a comprehensive explanation. I think that is the only way to salvage this at this point, because you just open the door for speculations and counter speculations at this point. Give us a logical reason why this thing happened, what you had in mind, what you were seeing 2 months ago when you told us that by this time, towards the end of the year, this carrier will be launched. Tell us what you were seeing back then, and tell us what has changed in the last 2 months. Because only that explanation will make things... Because when I read through the reactions on Twitter, then I realized that even those... when you say people have... Okay, there's still some diehard fans that you have. Yesterday was the last straw. Because at that point, most of them could not say anything. You could see retweets of people that had commented earlier when they started that this was not the right thing to do. And they were all just proven right. The government has, a responsibility to come out and tell us, okay, this is what happened, and this is what happened, and this is what, you understand. I don't think this should come under the national security purview.
Aisha, that is one area that we are still lagging behind, as far as information management is concerned in our country. In other climes, you don't just do that. The people will definitely come after you. You don't do that. The citizens will definitely come after you. They will ask very salient questions. But it's only in this part of the country or of the world that leaders will come out and do what they feel like doing, and they will damn all the consequences. Who is going to talk? Come on. It's only in this country that you will call citizens who are trying to express their grievances. It's only in these citizens that you call them whalers. So because I voted for you, I don't have the right to ask you questions or to tell you how I feel, and the next thing is for you to give me a name. You will come back after 4 years to ask for my votes. Then we'll know who is the real whaler and who is the man with the power. If our votes are actually counting, I don't think someone that you vote into power will now turn back and call you whalers. We've seen a situation where even the president, while the first time he declared that he was going to run for a second term, what did he tell Nigerians? He said, I just have to say that I'm going to run for the second time because Nigerians talk too much. Yes, that's an insult. You don't just turn back and talk down on people. You don't do that. In other climes, you dare not do that. We've seen campaigns in other parts of the world. Why can't we emulate good virtues? Why can't we learn good things? Now, a whooping sum of over 1 point something, if you go through what has gone down the line or down the drain, to have this national carrier, you ask yourself, what happens to all of the potholes in and around the country? Had it been that money was channeled into the right place, what happens? These are some of the things that we really need to talk about. These are some of the things that we really need to ensure that we call the government to order. Because if you don't have all of this, it will now end up to be as if we don't know what we're doing as a country and we don't know where we're heading for. Now, definitely there will be reactions.
There will be.
But I can tell you, before the end of today, or latest before the end of this week, you will see a counter reaction from those in power.
True.
This is not the way we should go. This is not the way we should go. If you manage information very well, you won't have to be giving rejoinder and explanation and explanation and explanation again.
I was having a conversation with someone recently, and there was an economist that was talking about how the NOA, I've forgotten who exactly made a statement about how these days you just sit down and the NOA do little or nothing. There's no push, there's no orientation, there's no... I think they should consider orienting the people in power on how they disseminate information. You know, the way you know, and okay, you're trying to manage this information. I think it should have gone through this process. Okay, we're going to suspend this thing, and this thing actually was huge. It caused this. How do we go about, you know, informing the people? How do we go about cushioning the effect, you know, that this will have on the people? If you come up and say, for example, there is a this deficit that has to be transferred or has to be balanced in so and so months until next year, we cannot afford to continue with the Nigerian Air, it is suspended. That would cushion, because you've explained to me. So when I look through the facts that you gave, I understand that, oh, this is the reason why this is. But when you come up to just say this is as suspended, it brings room for speculations. And I see the opposition, you know, already having a field day, you know, from last night. I can only wait to see the official statements today, you know, that will come out. Because definitely I expect from different corners. I even expect one from each of the PDP presidential aspirants, if possible. You know, all of this is something that people will definitely capitalize on. And I feel, unfortunately, that would be because of how it was, the information was disseminated. It didn't come out. We needed an explanation. It's not a national security matter of some sort that you say, okay, because of intelligence and this, we cannot, you know, tell you. Explain to us. We understand our economy is, you know, going through a little bit of back and forth. And this is coming at a time when the HSBC has come out to say what they said. Yeah. Even though, yes, the attack on the presidency was too direct, they came out to say what they said. And you're coming out to say this kind of... It would have made a little bit more sense, saying, okay, yes, we understand. We want 4 more years to fix some other things in the economy. And this is what is going on right now that you know. So for this reason, the national carrier cannot move along. People's hearts have been broken. And I can't wait to hear, you know, what people think. I want to know, because I need some sort of hope that, okay, this is going to be a bit balanced. You understand? People are going to be, oh, no, we understand that. But from what I've been seeing online, it's only been one-sided. So
well, maybe at the top of the hour we'll hit the phone lines open so that people can just tell us what they feel about it. There are a lot of information, you know, surrounding the national carrier issue. Away from that quickly before we come back, because that's going to be our major talk head this morning. The presidency has come out to confirm the replacement of the immediate past Minister of Finance, and Zainab Ahmed has been confirmed as the Minister of Finance.
It's a good one, I must say. You know, this is a swift. I was talking to an economist that said this is unlike the president. He takes his time in his appointments. But when this happened, it quickly brought in someone, and now, you know, in the same week, it's barely, tomorrow is going to make it a week that she resigned. It's barely a week, you know, that a resignation came in, and another, you know, finance minister has been confirmed. You know, people have gone through Zainab's profile and seen that, okay, yes, even though she doesn't have as much qualification, you know, on paper as the former financial minister has, they're all waiting to see what's going to happen. The international community are watching. You know, President Muhammadu Buhari is going to be speaking, you know, to the UN Assembly come 25th of September, and he's going to, all of this is going to come up in the fore. What is going on with the economy, what just happened, what is happening. Investors' confidence, especially international investors' confidence, would be made all mad by this process. Locally, how would Nigerians accept this? How would Nigerians react to this? Will there be some sort of consensus acceptance or an acceptance, you know, where she would be helped and things would be moved, the stock market will not be affected, because all of that will come to play then. If they don't trust the person in the helms of affairs, people that have gone through, you know, our former minister, finance ministers have told you, we've had the likes of people that have worked in World Bank, we've had the likes of people that have had, you know, international accreditation and qualifications and I would say profile to fit the position. Zainab, you know, of course, doesn't have such, but we know that the president is, you know, walking in the right step in the right direction, and this quick confirmation definitely is one of those right steps. I can't wait to see what she does with the position.
Well, we can't wait, Aisha, too, because the truth of the matter is that, you know, her first, I don't know if it's actually her first statement, you know, there was a statement she made, and the opposition really took it up, you know, and said that the statement coming from the what do you call it, the acting Minister of Finance, you know, has actually vindicated the opposition. I need to check out that statement, because I think she was talking about the infrastructure or something. I can't really remember. So for her, for Zainab, I think we can just keep our fingers crossed and see how far, you know, she can go. But in all of this, we sincerely want to wish her, you know, success in her new office, and we hope that she will help to make the economy better.
Revive the economy.
Yeah, or revive the economy.
Because of course our economy is going through a lot.
Yeah, going through a lot. Anyway, Nigeria is first of all our country. Any other thing is secondary.
Sure.
And police deny FG's payment of 50,000 to its personnel. All right, let me just go through this quickly. Jimoh Moshood said that the amounts paid to police personnel on election duty in Osun was duty tour allowance for 10 days. What would they be doing in Osun State for 10 days?
Duty tour? I don't understand.
I don't understand duty tour for 10 days.
Are they tourists now?
No. Our Nigerian police are now tourists. So they're going to tour through Osun State. I wonder how big the state is. That they will tour the state for 10 days. I don't understand. You know, sometimes when issues crop up like this, you begin to ask yourself a lot of questions. I had you know, an interview session with an ex, you know, police officer, and I told him that, I asked him that, why must you even pay police officers, you know, during elections? Because for me, it's a kind of a way of telling them, hey, go there, do my bidding. Even if you don't tell them, you know, verbally, you dictate it somehow, somewhere, because are they now in Mozambique, or, you know, these are some of the questions that we really need to ask. If you give me the amount, if 50,000, you know, for me to go out there and carry out election duty, the question is, how many days am I supposed to stay there? Why would I even stay there for 10 days? The security, the ex-security guy I spoke with said, after the election, after the announcement of the election, the police is expected to stay for 1 more day to ensure that the whole place is peaceful before they leave. So that's just like 3 days. And now you are saying for 10 days. Actually, there is a lot of, in fact, there are a lot of things to really talk about.
Gray areas.
Very gray areas. And now the police has quickly come out to defend, you know, that payment. Why are you even paying them now? If you want to pay them, why not pay them their salaries? Sure. If truly you want to pay them, why not pay them their salaries? Why not pay them their salaries ahead of their election, so that INEC is also budgeting money to feed them? So why
this
don't...
is the best time to be a police officer.
I'm telling you.
This is the best time to be a police officer. The opposition just has a lot to feel, a lot to feel there with all of this, because this is the eve of an election. Every single money that go out has to be, there has to be some sort of a torchlight on it. People are looking for money to campaign. People are looking for money to do elections. We have of you know, aspirants out there. people are looking to make money. So any money that tries to go under the noses of Nigerians will definitely be scrutinized. It will come under the microscope, very, very importantly. And I don't know how all of this is not being considered when all of these decisions are being made. Sometimes I think and I wonder, how does it go? How does this thing happen? Is there some sort of wish that people would not react or say something, you know, contrary to this? There should be some sort of proper explanation in information dissemination.
Well, that's a very key. That's a very key thing for them to really lash on. Otherwise, you know, the wrong information will definitely keep going out. But like I said, this part of the world is this part of the world. Saraki Atiku Secondo's rally support for Adeleke. The election is coming up in a couple of hours from now, looking about Saturday, and it's seriously going to be a clash of the titans. We've seen the opposition, we've seen the ruling party. The president was there a couple of hours ago, and now, you know, the chairman of the Adeleke campaign group, which is the Senate president, is also in Osun State, trying to, you know, push in all the support and all the encouragement they can get from the supporters. Davido was there, you know, a couple of days ago too. To
see my smile.
Yeah, you know, and the crowd was not just here. You know, it was massive. I feel if Davido should come out and contest for senatorial, you know, to take over from his brother or from his uncle, I think he's going to win very quickly.
You know, I think this is just one lucky party, the People's Democratic Party. You know, they are very, very lucky because they are definitely banking on the emotions of Nigeria. See me smiling here. It's not necessary. I must not necessarily be PDP inclined, but you have this one person who is in the entertainment industry that everybody just loves. Everybody just, you know, loves. Who doesn't love a good Nigerian musician? I don't think there's nobody. So at this point, and when you now marry that with, you know, the campaign, knowing that okay, it's his family, some people would even vote for PDP based on okay, homage, let me pay homage to the video. And that's what I feel. That's what I feel. But then again, the rally was quite colorful. The Agbada was on point. I don't know who their tailor was, but damn, it looked good. All of them, Saraki, Atiku, they all wore, you know, the regalia. Even the candidate himself, Adeleke, they were all, you know, with smiles. Davido's picture of himself in the PDP Agbada trended all through social media yesterday. And that could make the Osun people have this, whenever you're going, you know, this thing you say with your mind, what you see all the time. Their color was just too catchy. Putting it on someone as public and as in the face of people as Davido, that would just etch something in the mindset of the people. That's what I think. I think people that will come out, look at when he did the pre-rally, you know, concert that happened. People were sitting on houses, like on the roof of houses, you know, trying to be there. People, you know, were all over themselves, and you could see that expression on the faces, you know, of all the political leaders that were there in Osun yesterday. They saw the love from the people, they felt the love from the people, you know. Even though Adeleke has not come out to say the exact reason why he was a no-show on the debate that was supposed to happen, you know, last weekend and all of that, people seem to have forgotten that and, you know, are accepting him and are ready. The rally was quite colorful from what I saw yesterday, and was quite catchy. Davido himself had a full one with inside up and down and the full agbada. Look at Davido. His was quite complete. This picture trended all of social media yesterday. It was just a lovely sight. All I could see was just PDP. On Saturday, of course, you know, with the amount of police force that we have there, we can't wait to see. Just look at the crowd. yesterday when they had this rally.
Wow, this is really a mega rally.
It is.
From the mammoth crowd, seen there. But at the end of the day, we hope the outcome of the election will be transparent, and then also what the wish of the people, will be.
That's the most important
That's the
thing.
most important thing, because if you look at what happened in Ekiti State, you begin to ask yourself, where exactly are we heading to as a nation? There were allegations and counter allegations of vote buying, not just from the APC, but from every other party, because we also had, where the governor was said to be paying, is it 2,000 to workers' account, or 5,000 and thereabout, all allegations and counter allegations. But if the stance of INEC is anything to go by this time, as far as Osun State election is anything to, is concerned, let's just hope that they will carry out, their is it threat now, or their precautionary measures that they have designed. As we speak, they have banned the use of smartphones, at polling units. Let's just hope that will give us the desired result and make the election a little bit transparent. They've also talked about, curbing vote buying. Let's hope and believe that will also, make the process more transparent. But they did not say anything about ballot box snatching and, maybe mass thumb printing and all of that. But we just hope that they have mechanism to checkmate all of this, because sometimes when you look at all of these little vices, they are the things that really, condemn or make observers to condemn the process entirely. But we hope, because whatever happens in Osun State, for me, is going to trigger into the 2019 elections.
True. It's definitely going to set the precedence. And, we've had international communities, observe, looking back at Ekiti, and came out, we heard the things they said. Osun is the only point for them to change their narrative before 2019. People have predicted doomsday for 2019. Osun is that platform for us to change that, for us to do things differently. INEC needs to realize that, all eyes are on them. They need to, come through. I commend the fact that, mobile devices are no longer allowed, to go with you at the point where you collect your slip, your voter slip. Your phone leaves you at that point until you go and cast your vote and come out. I think that is one way that would definitely curb vote buying. There are other ways, of course, that people are going to come up with or try to come up with, but the security agencies should be on their A game. The INEC officials, or like we were discussing yesterday, the security agencies are more or less like an extension of an arm of the INEC. They can't do anything without INEC officials telling them. So I would indulge the INEC officials to make use of the security agencies, that are there. They should have some sort of, maybe, for example, put 2 policemen that would stand where or around where you're voting, for example, so that you don't come up with, people can come up with phone. You know what they do in jam? Remember back then, people will be doing jam and they'll be carrying tiny phones and putting in their hair and hiding. So if they know that, your phone is not allowed, Nigerians, that you can come up with things, they'll drop one and, carry another one. Based on the processes, secret and all of that, you can use another one to do all of that and go and show. They should try and be smart, because Nigerians were smart. That's one thing. When they give us heads up and say, okay, these are it is, so, okay, let's observe now. Okay, where can we pass back door? So INEC too should be ready for those back doors that, we Nigerians, as we are, were ready to, exploit.
Drop one, carry one. All right, at this point, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll hit the phone lines open, so please stay.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go, anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android, or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Some days, of course, I'll get tired. Some days I will get beat up. Some days I will get knocked down and I will have some bad days. But I will not stop. This isn't punch the clock and go home for the day. Here, there's no such thing as a weekend. This is an everyday gig. Every day is a Monday. And you might not like that. Me, I love it. To me, every day is a beginning. A new day, a new week, a new shot at life. An opportunity to come out of the gate like a man possessed and attack the day without mercy. Today, I'm putting the pressure on. I am the aggressor. I am on the attack.
You don't get this far. You don't get to this point and just stop.
People that succeed quit quitting when things get hard. Any path you take to get where you want to be, if that place is worthwhile to go, it's going to be hard. Struggle, pain, misery, frustration, those are signs that you are on the right path. Nobody that is where you want to be has gotten there without these struggles, without the pain. And if you want to be something great, you are going to have to learn to accept the struggle as part of the recipe. Every single day you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I willing to do to get what I want? And if the answer is, whatever the f I have to, you'll get there in time.
It's necessary you take responsibility for it. That you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream. And here's something you've got to resolve. Not over till I get through. Not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm going to come back and take the hinges off. That's how you got to do that. You got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination. If you want to make it happen, it's you. But you've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. We can point out many things that can make it inconvenient or can slow us down. But ultimately, it's you.
All right, welcome back from that break. We'll be hitting the phone lines open so that you can share your ideas and your contributions on the suspension of the national carrier codenamed Air Nigeria. Is it Air Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Nigeria Air, okay. Codenamed Nigeria Air. The federal government has suspended that project, and the story is not really palatable.
It's not, from what we're saying online. That's why we want to get your reaction. Tell us what you think. Some of you, I have faith that people out there understand. Like we were saying earlier, we're calling on the federal government to give us more details. I think would help, people understand this. But then again, naysayers that, we're predicting this from the beginning are having a field day.
Yeah.
Which, of course, if the federal government is going to curb, they only have to counter it with some sort of information, more information.
Definitely, more information, to really put the people on top of the whole situation. Because if you understand it better, you will probably talk less, because you know that, okay, for X, Y, Z reasons is why ABC is happening. But we find ourselves in a country where information does not really matter. Sadly. Sadly, people just feel I can sit back at the comfort of my home and just tweet that, okay, we have decided to suspend XYZ. Thank you for your understanding. And it ends there. But these are serious national issues. This is the second or third time, that this is happening in our country. So why not, get things straight? the question also is, do we really need it at this point? Do we really need it at this point? That is why we have to, first of all, talk to ourselves. That is why we have to, first of all, understand why, all of these are happening. That is the most important reason why we also need to, look at it from a different perspective. Sure. Because if you don't understand why, something is being done, you'll be left in the dark. And once you are in the dark, there are possibilities that you can hit, your feet on the stone. We have a caller on the line. Hello. Okay, I think we lost him. You can make mistakes. You might feel that, oh, okay, because I know this place very well and the place is dark, okay, this place leads me to to the door, and you just get down, you hit your head on a pillar. Sure. But if there are adequate informations, that means there is light. You can see your way through. You can navigate. You can do whatever you want to do because you are well informed. But if you are half-baked or baked, then definitely you're as good as not being baked at all.
At all. Very true, very true. I must say that complete information or no information at all, because incomplete information would definitely have the opposite effect of what you wanted to have. You're telling us something, there's a reason for that thing happening. People will feel the reason why you're hiding that reason is, a shady or, how will I put it, a not so presentable way. Everything would just look negative. Everything would just seem very, very, not proper.
Not proper. That's just the truth. And there are reactions already as far as the ban or the suspension is concerned. Governor Dankombo is saying that a whooping sum of 1.2 billion naira, taxpayers' money wasted on the National Carrier Project, the Nigeria Air. Money that should have been invested in education and healthcare development, and this is very true. We're even talking about road network around our country. I traveled to Kontagora in Niger State, right? I traveled to Kontagora in Niger State some couple of weeks ago, and I can tell you that I came back and my car was almost almost gone. As strong as the car is, I really felt it. I had to, do some servicing because of the nature of the road. Too bad a road. You cannot travel from here to Kontagora and come back the same way, even if you are going with a brand new car. To tell you how bad the road is. So, if we have, a whooping sum of 1.2 billion naira, then you should be asking yourself, instead of wasting it on the national carrier, a national carrier that Nigerians cannot proudly go and board. It's meant for those that are of the high class, those that can afford it. National carrier should be something that should be able to accommodate, if not everybody, at least accommodate those in the middle class, or maybe those that are still trying to get to the middle class, so that they can also fly. But I can assure you that had it been this come to the fore, the airfare might even be competing with the commercial air flights, airlines. And at the end of the day, who benefits more? True. These are some of the questions. So 1.2 billion naira should have been diverted to other sector of the economy. Education. Before you came in on the show, I was talking about, every year we churn out 3 batches of core members. Go and ask all of the political parties vying for political offices today to tell you one roadmap that they have as it relates to job creation for the teeming youth who are coming out of universities every year. No one, no single party, over 89 or over 92 parties will tell you that this is what we are going to do. None. Go and ask them what plans do they have as it relates to healthcare delivery. Maternal mortality rate, how are they going to bring it down? As we speak, cholera is killing people in the northeast. What are the plans that you have? I can tell you that instead of them to tell you the plans, they will be telling you different narratives. At the end of the day, you begin to ask yourself, you begin to wonder, is this how we are going to continue? Now the national air has been suspended. For how long would that be? Are we going to recoup back our money? The answer is obvious. No. So who is losing and who is gaining?
Other governments are being in power and there's been national airs. Okay, let's talk about the most recent Nigerian, airlines, and that one just nosedived. Lack of maintenance, there was just so many problems wrong with that, and people more or less felt, okay, this is going to be, this administration felt, let's do this differently. It has been in the works. Let's give, our airline a national face. Let's revive this sector. People were of the opinion that, okay, how are we going to maintain it? Hope it's not going to go down the same way as the Nigerian Airways went down. Unfortunately, after a logo unveiling, it has been suspended. So one will begin to wonder. It didn't even get to the phase of, okay, let's even use it for a while, and then maintenance made it nosedive. What are they doing differently? Is this suspension because they want to have more time to be able to, invest in making sure that it becomes a permanent and, forever national carrier? Or is this suspension just a hint that it is finally closed?
Well, actually, you know that they will always come up with excuses and counter excuses and try to patch it up. That's the way, our government works. It doesn't matter which party is in power. This is the third time that we're having, such happening. So it doesn't matter which government is in power. They'll always say that, okay, we did that so that we can have more time to think. Who asks you to do it faster than you can really, afford? Nobody is telling you, you must do this. Or you feel when you do it, you might just gather cheap political points. And now the whole process is backfiring. Who stands to lose? It's not a matter of, this is what we want to do, we'll do it fast, and no. I remember when the railway line started, Obasanjo started it, and when Yar'Adua came, he continued. Good Luck came, brought in the coaches, and a few of the projects were commissioned, and when this government came, another one was also commissioned, even though there are insinuations all around that the one that was commissioned was the one commissioned by the previous government. But that's not even the case. But the thing is that, in as much as from successive government we have the commissioning and all of that started from somebody, picked up and all that. If you want to come up with a national carrier, why not start from the scratch? It must not be you that will complete it. Nigeria will still remain after PDP, APC, ANPP, UPP, CUPP, ABC, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, and all of that. Nigeria will still remain. Why not start it a step at a time?
Sure.
Take the first step. If it's to get the name, okay, this is what we want to be using. Get that one and seal it down.
True, because when the name was being they promised us later before the end of the year. Yes, I think I definitely agree with that.
That is it.
Baby steps. Baby step. Inform us that, okay, do you know what? We want to start a national carrier. They can do that this year. And then if you like, tell us the name next year. And towards the end of next year, tell us the logo. And then in another year, yes, it mustn't be your administration, because it's for the generality of the people, it's for Nigeria. So you should, when projects are being, made, they shouldn't just be attributed to your government. Yes, you started the process, which is very important, but, it can span over, a couple of years, a couple of administrations, and when it does go through all of these processes, it would come out stronger.
That is just it. But rather than you trying to do all with your own powers and all of that, at the end of this is what we'll be seeing, suspension, crashing, and probably, not even revisiting it again. But if they had taken the bold step, okay, we want to start a national carrier, this is the name, then you leave it there. 1 year, you say, okay, we are financially buoyant enough, we want to go do the bidding, let's know the kind of aircraft we'll be using. We are not buying, we just want to bid. You go there, you do the bidding, you already know the kind of aircraft you want to purchase. You have that on record. Even at the next election, if you didn't win, the next man will come and say, okay, we already have a name, they've already bidded for this thing, okay, let's see, can we get partners? When you have partners, then you now say, okay, what will be the financial commitment? You take it one step at a time. And if after 4 years, people feel they are not comfortable with that other government, you go away, or even after 8 years, then the next man comes in. Oh, they've bidded, they've got partners, they've got this, they've got that. Okay, let's buy. And before you know it, in 10, 12 years, you have your national carrier. and it start working. Rather than you wanting to put in all your muscles into one basket, and at the end of the day, you end up not getting anything. It's been suspended. I just saw a report that, it's for them to have more time. Time to do what?
But nobody was pushing them in the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. Who was pushing you?
Nobody was pushing. Nobody was.
Nigerians were not even, asking of a national carrier. I can't even remember if the national carrier is part of their 2015 campaign manifesto. I have to go back and check if it's actually there. So if it's not part of what you promised the people, why are you running to do it?
Why are you running?
Why are you running to do it?
There's a meme that just reminded me of when you said that.
Why are you running to do it? Who is pushing who? Or who is fooling who? These are the questions. Who is pushing who? Or who is fooling who? 1.2 billion naira is not something we should joke or handle with kid gloves.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money that could have been diverted to other sector of the economy. The president just came back from China, and we know how much loan we are getting from those people. If we have our 1.2 billion in our reserve, we'll know that, okay, maybe we won't borrow up to 300 and something that he went there to borrow. Maybe we'll have just borrowed maybe 100 or 150, and come back. We know that, okay, we'll pay that one easily. But now, that 1.2 billion, I am very sure is not what we'll be able to recoup easily, because that money has gone into, some other maybe air carrier manufacturers and all that. It has gone into their company's account. So how is it possible for you to retrieve back that money? This suspension, for how long will it be? What are the terms and conditions for suspending this thing? Were you able to get in touch with those carriers you went to bid for? What is their take in all of this? Are they refunding part of the money? What is the agreement? These are some of the things that we really need to ask. Or because you have suspended it, the 1.2 billion naira is gone. There are some companies that once you they will tell you categorically, once you pay any money, it's non-refundable. Is that the contractual terms that you have with these people? If it is yes, come out and tell Nigerians. If it is no, let us know. Are we getting back those money? Or is gone and is gone for life?
It's quite sad. Talking about getting back this money, you could see different memes online, where people are saying, go and return the cap that they give, because people, there are different caps and say, let us know how much we can retrieve. But yes, let's just emphasize what we've been saying earlier, that we need more. We want to know more. What happened exactly? What was going on? The president is going to be talking at the UN Assembly, and all of these things are coming up, and I wonder how it would address all of them. Yes, you're going to tell them the situation of your country, how things are, what is going on, and you're open to conversations concerning things that have been going down and how things have not been going well. Recently, the death of the aid worker in Borno State, and then this coming out about the national, carrier. Yeah. There are just so many things that one would wonder, okay, why is everything nosediving? Even the HSBC statement, coming back and saying, okay, this particular person should not come back. You're going to be in front of the UN. How would you explain, what is going on? I know the UN to be, all for peace, all for, oneness. They would need to know that Nigeria is together as a facet, addressing all of these things. HSBC, is a banking giant that they take in high esteem. They would ask the president to his face. Do you understand? All of these things, I cannot wait. I don't want to be in his shoes. I wonder what he will have planned. He needs to go there with a very, 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 very detailed and, explanatory plan. So because that is the international community right there. That is the president representing Nigeria right there. There's a lot of, speculations and counter speculations that will come up on salient issues that have been happening lately, and I cannot envy him, to defend himself, because all of these things, even we, the citizens, are not even satisfied with what we were hearing and what we're seeing. How will he now satisfy the international community? I beg to wonder.
I beg to wonder, Aisha. That's just the truth, because either we like it or not, this is a national issue that we really need to talk about. Like I was saying, that is it the national carrier that is really, really, really our pressing national need? as we speak? Is that our very present national need, that if we don't have it, everything goes down?
We need to figure out that isn't.
Of course.
The obvious answer.
The obvious answer is no. That's not our very present national need as we speak. Let's even say just one need that we need as a nation. Is it a national carrier? The answer is no.
True.
The answer is no.
Very true.
We have a lot of things to talk about. We have a lot of things bothering us as a nation. Our unity has been grossly affected. You know, our unity has been grossly affected. Our economy is not even friendly as we speak. Just of recent, we're declared as, is it the headquarters of poor people or something?
I want to believe that we're slowly rising above that statistics, but unfortunately, yes, that is what's happening, and that is why HSBC made that statement and saying that okay, Nigeria will continue in this. I was talking to someone, and the person told me that if you're earning 100,000 naira maybe last year, and you're earning that same 100,000 naira this year, in your mind, oh, you're still on the same level. Yeah, maybe you did not increase, but you're 95% poorer than you were last year.
Wow.
Because that money has lost its value. I felt pained in a different part of my heart. Like, oh, really? Yes, and we know that, okay, things are not the same prices, but to have it said to us in that way, it was just, something else. There's a lot that needs to be balanced, and that is why we say that there's a lot on the shoulder, rather, of the new finance minister. There's a lot that needs to be. She needs to do and create regulations and things that would make and mitigate, all of this process. There's been previous policies that the past finance minister made. When we talk about the TSA, we talk about VAT, we talk about all these things have been put on ground. How is she going to continue it? How is she going to improve on these things? Some might beg to say, okay, Kemi Adeosun was not allowed to, completely do what she's doing with the economy. Let's see what Ahmed, has to offer, because she has a lot to do. Our economy is been on a nosedive, in the last 3 years. Yes, it is the naira, has greatly devalued, even though it's now trying to get its footing and get its balance, towards the end of the year. Our GDP is, going down. We're at 0.99%, this second quarter, lower than the first quarter and lower than what we had in 2017. The second quarter is one where the GDP is supposed to, increase. And looking at this being a pre-election here, 2018 is quite different than what we saw 2014 going to 2015 second quarter. But now, everyone is wondering, what are we going to do with our economy? Hearing a story like what we heard yesterday about the Nigerian Air just makes Nigerians feel, wow, this is another money that they feel has gone into the drain. If the money did not go into the drain, we need to understand and know that.
All right, we have a caller from Jos. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's the name and where are you calling us from, please?
Yeah, my name is Godwin. I'm calling from Jos.
All right, go ahead, Godwin, with your contribution, please.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I want to say the federal government suspending the Nigerian Air. For me, from day one, I've always known and seen that as already a failed project. That ought to be one of the best projects in this government ought to have floated and survived. I don't know why other countries were able to have national air, and Nigeria is finding it difficult to have one. From the beginning, when they launched that, I think in London, I was that, why are they going to Nigeria Air going to be launched in London? Is it going to be called London Air? This is Nigeria Air. It is going to be a local flight, Nigerian and main domestic flight that will not go international. Why is it going to be launched in London? And why is it doing that in London? There's nothing on ground to show right in Nigeria where this ought to be domesticated. That's something, is going to take off. Nothing. Honestly, I look at it that, the government of the day, so to say that, as if the government just deceiving the masses. And it has been a consistent issue happening that government will say this, tomorrow you turn. Myself, I can always predict whenever government come up and say anything, I can predict what next they will say or they will do. That's to show the level we have now degenerated to, and it is quite unfortunate, you know. But please, another thing I want to say this morning, please, I want to know, what are your station doing in the case of this girl, Leah Sharibu, please?
Okay, what is the station doing in her case?
Yes, about Leah Sharibu. Because the other head worker has been killed, and this girl is the Boko Haram people has actually said something that this girl may be the next person in line if nothing is done. And don't take their word for granted. Leah Sharibu is not my sister. I don't know, you know, I'm not from the same region with her, but she is a human being. For God's sake, please, her other colleagues, her other friends have been released. Can you imagine the trauma the parents of this girl will be going through? See how the other person was just killed last week, I mean early this week, and the same nihilist group, Boko Haram, had said that this girl will also be killed, and if nothing is done, the same girl will be killed. So that government is not saying anything about that. I saw our president is just busy attending Osun State political rally at the expense of a life. I mean, it is most unfortunate. Please, if anything can be done, let's use your media to publicize, attract a whole lot of people and noise, either from within and look outside. Let something be done and save your place. I see no offense she committed just by simply saying that she's sick to her religion, which is not. That she don't change the religion, is it? I mean, and these people are trying to give us a picture that Boko Haram is not religious. You know, so please, I don't know. It has been a great burden to me, but I don't know how to, you know, air it out. But just let me call this one to see how, please, whatever you people do, let it be on air. Let Leah Sharibu be rescued, and even other people girls as well. But why I'm so particular about Leah Sharibu is that she is being detained simply because she refused to denounce her faith. God bless you, and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Godwin from Plateau State talking about jazz. Yeah, very true. Nobody will be happy, you know, to see Leah Sharibu going down, you know, the way the other lady, you know, went down. A 25-year-old, promising, you know, beautiful young lady, you know, her destiny was cut short by the dreaded group called Boko Haram. But I just hope that the threat on Leah Sharibu and others will not be taken lightly, because if you study the way these guys are going, that's almost the same way the ISIS guys, you know, carry out their attack, you know, killing innocent people who they end up abducting or kidnapping and all of that. But it's been over 24 hours or 48 hours, we're yet to hear a word from the government, and that's not a good sign. If you ask me, that's not a good sign. We're yet to hear them talk about, you know, what their plans are. We're yet to hear them say, okay, we're going to respond to these guys, even though it's going to be through the back door, back channel, whatever channel, underground channel. Just ensure you get in touch with these guys, because like we used to say on this program, if it were to be an American that was abducted by these guys, I am telling you, America will release all of its arsenals to ensure that they get back that person either dead or alive. America will do all to get their citizen in whatever country they find, even that if that country is under the sea, the American government will go after that country and ensure that they get back their citizen either dead or alive. Aisha, it's only in this country that, you know, someone rightly said, you know, it's only in this country that we don't value ourselves as human. We don't value, so sadly, we don't value ourselves. Over 200 girls were whisked away, you know, sometime in 2014. And up till now, we are unable to get them back. Few months ago, in February, some were taken away in Dapchi. And few weeks after, they were returned. Lucky people, if you want to ask me. But the few that were still held captive are still there. Is it that we don't understand, even as government, is it that we don't understand, you know, the landscape of our country? Or is it that our intelligence gathering ability has failed? A lot of questions to talk about.
To be asked.
Now, in the midst of all of this, the National Air Nigeria or Nigeria Air suspended. So, what is the way forward? Where are we heading for?
It's quite sad, like I said. You know, all of the things that have been happening here in the country lately is just it's not a good one. If you listen and you're an advent follower of the station, you realize that this conversation we've been having it over and over again. I'm sure the caller did not watch the breakfast show yesterday, because if he did, he would have realized that we take the human rights, we take advocacy for the voiceless very, very important. That is key. Here you being able to even call in and sharing your thoughts about what you feel about Leah Sharibu, it's because the phone lines are made open. Every single Nigerian has their hat out to this girl, to her family, to every single one of the captives that are right there. And of course the government is watching. The government is saying that we expect them to do better, but we know that something is being done. We expect more from the intelligence, we expect more from the security personnel, however they're going to do their aerial and configuration, I don't know the army terms, but we expect more to see more results, because of course this aid worker has been killed. It's a ticking time bomb. We have less than how many days to go, because knowing the effect that this death of this young lady has caused on the Nigerian people, there would be some sort of how would I put it, some sort of glee in this, in trying to make sure that, okay, if they don't listen to us now, we have leverage on them, let's kill another person. Unfortunately, that is not what we're looking to do. The government is listening, it's watching, and will definitely take the right step in the right direction. Leah Sharibu did not hurt anybody. No captive of Boko Haram hurt anybody, and of course the government would, I believe so, before the end of the year, there'll be a good news.
Well, before the end of the year, that might just be a longer time, Aisha. These guys, according to the report that I read, they're saying in 1 month, just in 1 month, less than 30 days. So if nothing has been done, that they're going to toe down the line that this other lady went through. And sincerely, for Leah Sharibu, who has a promising future, for the 25-year-old aid worker who's got 2 kids, what would the father tell the kids about what happened to their mother? How are the kids going to take it? You think the kids will wake up tomorrow and they want to give in their best, for a country that care less about the safety of their mother while in captivity? There are a lot of trauma that these guys, or that the kids will go through, either we like it or not, either by proxy or by any other means. Because if the true story is told to them, and don't forget, the internet keeps a record. If the father decides not to tell them the true story, they will grow up and meet up with friends. And the story of Nigerian insurgency might just crop up one day. And they go online to search. And here comes his or her mother that was maimed, that was killed, all because she was trying to be kind to humanity. You think if they should go through that story tomorrow, you think they will be happy with this country? You think they will stand arms akimbo and clap for this country, that, oh, this country is great? You think they will say, oh, the government at that time is a responsible government? You think they will have all of this at the back of their mind? The answer is no.
True.
If in the next 1 month there is nothing that is done, and Leah Sharibu goes down, and other aid workers or other captors goes down, you think their family will forever be happy that they belong to this part of the world? These are some of the questions we should be asking ourselves sincerely. Aisha, do you know that if it were to be the son or the daughter of any one of these guys in power today that is being abducted or kidnapped or even whisked away, do you think we will be the same way we are today? Do you think they are not going to send all of the arsenals they have to go rescue that single person? You know, these are some of the things that we really need to think about. When we talk about issues like this, it cuts across. The most important thing is every life in Nigeria matters, no matter where he or she is coming from. You can come from the downhill in Maiduguri or in Borno State. You can come from the upper hill in Lagos. You can come from the middle hills or anywhere you want to come from, the southeast, south. It doesn't matter. In as much as you are a Nigerian, your life should count. And that is the primary responsibility of any responsible government.
Very true, I must say. You know, there's no... The life of every citizen is the most important. That's the paramount, you know, right. It's even there in the Constitution, the right to life, the right to live. And, you know, when I see what the international community does about lives, look at those Thailand boys in the cave.
Yeah.
I was, like, one single life, everything is on hold, everybody is on hold to make sure that that happens. I can't wait to see that in my country.
Oh, no.
I cannot wait to see that.
I can tell you for free that you're going to wait forever.
Unfortunately, I pray we don't.
But from the antecedent and the body language, not about this government. I'm talking about the government we've had. I'm not talking about this government alone. This government has its own, you know, share of the blame. But I'm talking about successive governments, even during the military. So what are we talking about? I'm not talking about just the Muhammadu Buhari-led government. No. Look at it from other government before we even started our democracy in full. Have you ever heard that one military man, you know, is being killed somewhere, maybe around our border or something, and we go back there to fight and ensure that we get the body of that man? My dad is a retired military officer. I know what I'm talking about. So we don't just come up and until we begin to have that consciousness at the back of our mind. Then when last have you heard that, you know, a security officer around the world, you know, pulled out his gun and faced another security officer and gunned him down? Okay. We have Isma on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Isma.
Mr. Pius.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
How are you? How is Aisha?
Aisha is good.
Good morning.
Fine, thank you. I sincerely appreciate you and, of course, all those behind the camera.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate all of you.
Thank you, Isma.
You see, the one when these people insinuated that they are going to revive this Nigeria Air, honestly, I know it may not be possible because I have not seen commitment and sincerity of purpose in all they were doing. And, you know, since that I started with propaganda and, of course, the administration itself, the government, and, of course, those in the hands of affairs, they said a lot of things. They made a lot of promises. And you can understand from their own body language that they were not serious and they are still not serious about issues. So there's no way serious issues like airlines can be revived by an administration that is not sincere to itself. This is a total failure, and of course to me it's a colossal waste because a lot of resources have been put into that project. They even went to as far as London to launch the logo. You see, that is a waste of resources, waste of energy, and of course waste of time, and trying to deceive Nigerians about all issues. So I hope things will change for a better, because as it is going now, we don't know where we're heading to. Look at what is happening with the issue of minimum wage. What they will say today is different from what they said yesterday and day before yesterday. And of course, tomorrow they'll come out to say another thing again. There is no sincerity in this administration. So I hope they will come back to their senses, always speak the truth, and of course carry Nigerians along, because Nigerians are educated people, they are intelligent people. They don't need to be deceived. They know what they were doing and they know what they are doing. So I hope you will continue to do your job. Somebody was talking about the issue of Leah Sharibu.
Yeah.
Of course, Leah Sharibu is supposed to be released, no matter what it will take, and no matter the resources Nigerian government is going to put in that in place. She needs to be released for whatever purpose and whatever means. She needs to be released. And like you have said, if it is in another countries or another climate, this girl would have been released by now.
Yeah.
And I hope people will be talking about this issue. Persuade this government, let her be released. For whatever reason she is being in captivity, she's not supposed to be there. She's supposed to join her colleagues in schools. So I hope something will be done. International organizations, individually, and of course corporate bodies supposed to talk about these issues. We're supposed to be talking about it after every now and then until she is released. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, there, Isma.
That's very true. You know, in some other climes by now, Leah Sharibu and others, you know, would have been out, you know, of their captivity. But in Nigeria, months after, we are still hoping and we are still counting.
I can't wait for that story to change, definitely. Isma made some, you know, really salient points and touched on, you know, the waste of finance that has gone into this project and how unsincere. Yes, making a statement as, you know, the government being unsincere stems from the fact that there are no full stories. That's it. When people feel that you're not telling them, they feel that, okay, the reason you're not saying that is because you're trying to be shady and trying to be, so they call you unsincere. And that is the narrative that they need to change. I don't know what the ruling party is doing communications-wise, but they're not doing anything at all. They need to know that you can't give Nigerians half big stories. Gone are the days of watch and sit back and watch. Let's look at the program, for example. You would know the Nigerians are now responsive. They know. This last year has made me understand that Nigerians are involved in the process now. They cannot, you can't just be giving them a kamun. You know the way you give a baby pap and then you just go. Nigerians know. They know what's going on. They know. So it's gone on the days of lack of interest. People are interested in politics. People are interested in governance. And the sooner the present administration and all successive, you know, and forthcoming governments realize that, the better. They will treat us, you know, when parents are treating children like kids, they should treat us like the adults that we are.
Yeah, that's very true, Aisha. They should treat citizens as adults. And also know that the power to become whatever, as far as politics is concerned, resides with the people.
Sure.
If you don't regard the people, after they must have given you their mandates, you will definitely come back someday, somehow, to seek for re-election. Then that's when they will show you that the mandate you did not respect then will not be given back to you. We have SMB from Kano. SMB.
Yeah, Payos, good morning. Good morning, Aisha.
Good morning, SMB.
Are you still in Kano or back to Lagos?
Yeah, I just come back from Jos yesterday and then I'm still in Kano. By the special grace of God. Next week I'll proceed to Lagos.
All right. Okay.
SMB the traveler.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I turned to mobile. It was the nature of the country turns everyone to become mobile. So thank you very much. I choose to talk. There are so many things on ground. Obviously, look at now. NLC is threatening to go on strike. Then issue of the national carrier. You see issue of politics, especially what's going on in Lagos, and then obviously this is the implication of godfatherism politicking system we are talking about, especially with what is going on in Lagos. And then I strongly believe all politicians should learn how to get support right from the grassroots. When we cannot do away with godfatherism politicking system in this country, when we cannot do away with money politicking system, believe me, we still have a long way to go. And then it's not encouraging for a nation, especially a black nation, the most largest population in the whole African continent. And then we are facing ourselves in this kind of scenario. Believe me, if we cannot do away with it this very moment, and then I don't think we can. Our next generation can try or can do what we are doing. So
okay, SMB, quickly, for want of time, what is your comment on the national carrier? Because you, of course, are
the
our last
national carrier, obviously, right before now, I have already said this in so many media stations that it's not something that you just begin today and then proceed tomorrow and then begin to think that you are going to get it right. National carrier is an issue that needs collective responsibility, where there is need of expert involvement. There is need for this the Nigerian Airways, the former Nigerian Airways. There are so many issues on the ground. They never settle their payments. They never settle their patients. All these there are so many issues articulated to that national carrier. So whenever they come out with that issue, I said, look, they are not. Obviously, I quite agree. It's a very nice initiative. It's a very good concept, but the issue is we are not ready. Thank God I'm not lying. Today it has been postponed. But the issue is let us not just hang around and say, okay, it has gone. No, we need to put more pressure on government because this is what we need. This is what we need, and then we must do it. So there is need for expert involvement. There is need for these our pressure groups to come up. We must have to make sure that government have reviewed these things, and then even if we cannot do it now, even if it is not this government of APC, any other government, we must have to make sure that national carrier has come back to stay. Like we said, democracy has come to stay. Therefore, national carrier must come back to stay in Nigeria because it's a way of income, it's a way of generating economic, and so many other things. So please and please, we agree. There are so many complexity in the arrangement, but that does not mean that we should just step back and watch government. We must have to mount a lot of pressure on government, especially the expertise, especially the business and then other necessary, other appropriate agencies. We must have to put more pressure on government. Not that they said it has been suspended and it has suspended for life. No, we have to make sure that even if it is not now, they must have to come back, and then national carrier must have come to stay in Nigeria. Thank you very much. I remain SMB from Kano.
Thank you very much, SMB from Kano.
Thank you very much.
For want of time.
For want of time, Aisha, we just have to go. You want to say your goodbyes?
Yes, SMB was our last caller. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful program, and we always insist what we do insist. Keep it a date with us, same time, same station tomorrow morning. Continue watching PTV on our app, PTV Nigeria, which can be downloaded on Android or iOS. You can also continue watching us live on our website, www.ptvng.com/live. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook on PTV_NG. It has been a wonderful morning.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful morning, a long one if you ask me. But thank God that we just have to call it a wrap at this point. With or without a national carrier, we should have a national life. All right. At this point, we say thank you very much for finding the time to tune in. Until we hit a screen tomorrow morning, God willing, ensure you stay out of trouble. And remember,
Nigeria will
definitely be great again. Bye for now. Next up on PTV is the news at 10, so please stay.
We got the best amenities. And when I don't feel like going out, I just watch TV.
Nice. Star Times, right?
Come on, man. Can you get Fox TV on Star Times? Ebony Live TV? Discovery Family? Please.
Yes, ma.
We get all that and more channels safe. The Star Times Classic Bouquet Reloaded is the best deal.
The best?
Well, if you're paying over 10,000 naira for a cable plan, then it has to be good.
Thank you, kid. We pay 1.9.
Choose it.
Get the best deals on channels like Fox TV, Ebony Live TV, ST Nollywood Plus, Discovery Family, and much more with StarTimes Classic Bouquet Reloaded for only 1,900 Naira from September 1st to October 31st, 2018. Don't miss out on all the drama, action, and comedy on StarTimes. StarTimes. Enjoy digital.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on StarTimes Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you. People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search PTV Nigeria, download, it's free, it's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Soldiers helping Nigerian soldiers fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law. I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview, because you have said
there had hardly been any administration.
Under the law, no religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Did you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the tallest reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
News 24 Extra is taking it up a notch. You can now have news curated to your interest anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store on iOS. Search News 24 Extra. Download. It's free. It's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news in politics, entertainment, lifestyle, sports, and much more. So stay connected with News 24 Extra. News at your fingertips.
La 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 la. My name is Femi Anikulapo Kuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you. Don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for us to have a peaceful elections. We need to think about the future of this country, of our children. We can be a great nation. And the first step is desist from being violent. Let's have a peaceful elections.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
Usual, I am excited today. Like, AY has done a whole lot for people. I'm not just his baby mama, I am his manager. And we all know that Wizkid had he had numbers of baby mamas. And
he said you don't need some leaders of the National Assembly.
The worst form of democracy is said to be better than the best form of military regime.
We are trying to build political blocks.
Just days after he defected from your party, I believe is the politics taken too far.
Members of the new board of Police Service Commission.
You know, the thoughts on the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because
we have some states that have experienced, some level of insecurity.
The headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Representatives.
But I have gone beyond that now, beyond partisanship.
I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the APC.
We know that the people of the country are getting more information about what is happening to us.
With what you know about the person, you can ask yourself.
But one of the things I've come to observe is that
I'm Agberu. That made me like this Agberu.
He don't need PVC. He don't need PVC. I was trying to convince him.
News emerged that Jones Abiri, a Bielsa-based journalist, is out on bail.
And there's nothing, of course, that makes them to have this guy.
As a citizen, first of all, every citizen has the right. What is happening in the society, what is happening everywhere around him.
From that day, Saraki knew that he was a madman in the APC.
He should ask his people who leaked the information. That is his business.
This is not the first time JSS was taking over the National Assembly.
It may be extremely very difficult to remove a Senate president.
But the question is the viability of most of these 91 political parties.
Of course, you can't prosecute that investigation.
It will be easier for you to have those people with the like minds to join you.
for innovation.
Good morning and welcome to PTV Today. I am Daniel Waboso.
The police have summoned the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in Saturday's election in Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke. He is to appear before the Special Investigation Panel over examination malpractice and impersonation. Police spokesman Jimoh Moshood said in a statement that Adeleke is to face charges of examination malpractice, criminal conspiracy, and impersonation. He was mandated to report alongside his brother Sikiru Adeleke and 2 others before the panel at the force headquarters before his arraignment in court. The police said, quote, investigation revealed that both Senator Ademola Adeleke and his brother registered and were sitting for the National Examination Council examination in 2017 as internal candidates impersonating students of the school at the ages of 57 and 42, respectively. This crime was facilitated by the principal of the school and 2 other members of staff of the school, for which they are under investigation and being charged to court, unquote. But in the swift reaction, the President Muhammadu Buhari, on Wednesday stopped the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, from inviting the candidates of the People's Democratic Party in the governorship election slated for Saturday in Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke. The police had earlier invited Adeleke to the force headquarters in Abuja for the purpose of arraigning him on charges of examination malpractices, criminal conspiracy, impersonation, breach of duty, and aiding and abetting. The presidential source, who spoke on condition of anonymity because he was not permitted to speak on the matter, told some State House correspondents that the president had directed that Adeleke should not be invited until after Saturday's election. Away from that now to some other trending story where the Nigerian government has announced the suspension of its widely publicized National Carrier Project. This comes 2 months after the plan was unveiled at the International Air Show in London. The Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika made the announcement shortly after Wednesday's cabinet meeting through his Twitter handle. He said, quote, I regret to announce that the Federal Executive Council, rather, has taken the tough decision to suspend the National Carrier Project in the interim, unquote. No explanation was given for the decision to suspend a project that was expected to gulp billions of naira. Now to insurgency, protesters are demanding that President Muhammadu Buhari do more to protect the lives of the citizenry. They made the plea during a boat protest march to the presidential villa. Paulum David tells us more.
After going to UNICEF and the ICRC, the protesters have proceeded to the presidential villa to further press home their demand and are bent on not relenting until they get a positive feedback from the presidency.
What are we demanding?
Bring back our girls, now I'm alive.
What are we demanding?
Bring back our girls, now I'm alive.
What are we asking for?
The truth, nothing but the truth.
What are we asking for?
The truth, nothing but the truth.
What do we want?
Our girls back now and alive.
What do we want?
Our girls back now and alive.
When shall we stop?
Not until our girls are back and alive.
When shall we stop?
Where is the leader of the troop? We want to speak to them. We sent a letter that we are coming to the villa.
We are here to say to Mr. President, are you sure that you are the president of Seifure and Alice, the president of Hawa? Are you the president of our remaining 112 Chibok girls? Are you the president of Leah Charibu? We're here to find out if the president actually heard where the terrorists said that Leah Charibu would be next. How dare we be a country that would allow the enemy to threaten us like that? We're here to ask the one who is said to be the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, what has happened to Nigeria?
It was meant to be a protest march to the presidential villa. They tried gaining access to the road leading to the State House, but were stopped by a security barricade. However, they left a message for the President Buhari about justice for the late aid worker and her colleagues.
The President, you must swiftly respond to the plea of Alice and Hawa and secure their release immediately before the next 30 days. Do everything possible to avert any harm to their lives, Mr. President. Mr. President, you must lead an urgent effort to strengthen the security and safety of humanitarian aid workers in Nigeria, working with international organizations like the United Nations to ensure that their staff, both local and international, are safe in our country.
They also talked about Dapchi girl Leah Sharibu and the remaining Chibok girls in captivity.
It is in utter consternation that we point to the visible evidence loudly noticed by the Nigerian public that President Buhari's campaign for the 2019 elections has further relegated the tragedy of the continuing captivity of our Chibok girls and other victims of terrorism to the background. It is condemnable that the same president who made the abduction of Chibok girls the epicenter of his campaign in the 2015 presidential elections no longer remembers that 112 of the children of his poor citizens are still languishing in the den of terrorists, despite his many pledges to rescue them.
They also brought up issues relating to casualties in the war against insurgency. For the protesters, troops at the front line deserve more than what they see as secret mass burials. Paulun David, PTV News, Abuja.
The All Progressives Congress has fixed its presidential primary for September 25th as against the earlier announced date of September 20th. APC National Organizing Secretary Emma Ibediro said this on Wednesday in Abuja. According to Ibediro, the party's national convention would hold on October 6, while September 29 and October 2nd had been fixed for governorship and senatorial primaries. He said the House of Representatives primaries would hold on October 3rd, while that of State House of Assembly comes up on October 4th. Although President Muhammadu Buhari is the sole presidential candidate for now, the primary is likely to pass an affirmative vote on him. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged Osun voters to keep those he tagged selfish and corrupt leaders out of government. Buhari was addressing the mega rally at the APC in Osogbo in support of the governorship candidate Gboyega Oyetola ahead of the election. The rally, which was well attended, also had in attendance APC governors from the southwest, Edo, and from the north. Moving forward now, a cross-section of senior lawyers have called for a review of Nigeria's prison information management system. This, they say, will help free a lot of inmates waiting trial. The lawyers, who are from the academia and the public sector, were key panelists at the workshop on the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. Judiciary correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu has more.
Prison congestion is mostly associated with poor countries, especially those with a weak justice system. Here in Nigeria, despite the entrenchment of Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which grants access to accused persons' right to legal representation, the number of inmates awaiting trial still lingers. This is a summit organized by the Network of University Legal Aid Institutions with the aim of freeing Nigerian prisons from congestion.
It again revisits the embarrassing problem of pretrial detention. Pretrial detention, for me, this remains one of the biggest challenges of our criminal justice system. You know, and the seriousness of the country is to be assessed in terms of the way it treats its weakest citizens.
We will be able to challenge courts, for example, how you cannot have a proper justice system where 95% of judges and magistrates have never had anything to do, for example, with the prison.
I have to say that this is not just a problem in Africa or in Nigeria in particular. This is all over the world. This happens every place where there's poor people. It happens in the U.S. I represent the people who've been in jail, like I said, for many years waiting for trial.
Issues raised here are those of rule of law prison information management system, legal aid, and a host of others.
For us, we have been doing pretrial detention work for a while in Nigeria, but this particular project deviates a little from our normal work.
We did ask questions such as, what other details would the NPS want to include in their warrants? And they stated the following: status of birth, prosecuting agency, age of inmate, name of counsel, and amended prosecution order to prison officials or police.
We started with the Excel sheet, and currently we have developed a system internally which is called the Prison Information Management System, which is to help us carry out our functions digitally. The information management system comprises of several modules. The first and most important that was developed is the identity management module.
After raising the prison issues, it's time to hear from the Nigerian police.
Somebody came in with this and said, okay, why are you here? We brought something, bring them, your wife, rape their wife in their presence and things like that, or their children and what have you. And after investigations, and these persons are taken to court, and they are not chiefs, ordinarily. Now, he sends us a person to prison. You know, we cannot take them to our houses. The only appropriate place to take them to is the prison.
Pre-trial detainees look forward to changes in the new legal year. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
Benue State Emergency Management Agency has confirmed that floods has submerged 5 communities in Agatu and other parts of Makadi, the state's capital. The agency executive secretary, Emmanuel Shio, disclosed this at a briefing in Makadi on the current flood situation in the state. He said rice mills and other settlements on the banks of River Benue were also affected. Shio said that SEMA has, in conjunction with NEMA and other stakeholders, launched an awareness campaign in the media, churches and mosques. He said that the campaign was intended to encourage residents of flood-prone areas to relocate to safer zones. Zonal coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency for North Central, Lugard Slaku, said 12 states, including Benue, have been listed as most threatened by flood in the country. And over to Edo, where a human rights group in Edo State is challenging the leadership of the State House of Assembly to put into effect the disability laws operating in the state. This, according to the group, will help advance measures to encourage persons living with disability in society. A guest lecturer gave the charge at the 5th year anniversary ceremony of the Friends of Special Children Foundation in Benin City. PTV's Kingsley Eben has more in this report.
It is the 5th anniversary of Friends of Special Children Foundation in Edo State, and these children have gathered here to witness the event. With smile on their faces, one may not easily know that they are physically challenged. Some of them are deaf while others are blind. Although there are laws that protect the rights of the disabled, but these right activists believe that the government has not done enough to protect the rights of the disabled persons. Now, they are pursuing new laws to bring hope to the people with disabilities.
One man who is an inspiration to humanity. One man who has shown that there is ability in disability. Call my attention to the fact that there is a disability bill in the House of Assembly, and there was need for the civil society activists and NGOs to rally support to engage these honorable members who in their acts and action with people of respect have shown in the past to be dishonorable. That there was need for us to engage them and ensure that they pass this disability bill into law so that it becomes an offense to act in a manner of failure to act or inactions of an individual against these special individuals. More than 2 years of that bill in the House of Assembly. In the heart of these agitations, knocking on the conscience and heart of these individuals who swore to an oath to protect the interest of the weak. They have been made handy like Pharaoh to ensure that bill becomes law for the protection of the special children. And in the midst of this pain and penury, they have amended the law which makes an ex-governor be entitled to 150 million apartment outside Edo State
Speakers at the occasion took turn to call for improved condition of living for the disabled.
I was sharing this with my wife. I said it's something that I don't have it. You know, to take care of the special children. Very, very wonderful. And it's something that I will encourage every one of us, if we're not part of it, let be part of it. One thing I usually say to people, the greatest investment one can make is on human being. The greatest investment one can make is on soul. One thing to understand is that one of the most important things that God valued is helping the needy.
This is a call to service. In fact, number one call to service. If there's anything to invest in, it's to invest in human. Yes. Like my pastor will always say that all that God did was for humanity. The gospel is all about humanity. That's why in our ministry we believe that we can put in any amount to save the soul. And what of the name is saying today is only God that can really reward it.
My daughter, Christabel, was challenged from birth, and we had about 4 children. There were 4 cousins they were giving birth to, one after the other, but she happened to be the eldest, and she was challenged. When the rest 3 were already crawling, she was still lying on her back on the bed. And when they started walking, she was using her bum to crawl. And so we started the journey to rehabilitate her and restore her to the stage of the other children. So I tried taking her out for occupational therapy at UBTH. So I carried her for 3 years. I told my wife, don't worry, I will dedicate the rest of my time in making sure that she'll become who God created her to be. So I take her twice in a week to UBTH. From there, I started learning how to care for special children. So then, when she started walking, I started acting like every other child. I said to myself, I'll give the rest of my life to also help other children.
Other participants lamented the negative role played by the society in helping persons with disabilities.
The platform was given to me by the Conference of those that made it happen at the likes of Omone.
I have to say congratulations to Comrade Omone, supporters of Friends of Special Children. Today you are marking 5 years. The journey has not been easy. It's been gone all the way through.
The anniversary shows that people with disabilities can compete favorably in the society.
The National Labour Congress is insisting that there is no going back on the nationwide strike scheduled to take off next week, Wednesday. NLC President Ayuba Waba said this in a communique issued in Abuja. This comes against the backdrop of unresolved issues over the proposed new national minimum wage. Organized Labour had few days ago issued a 14-day ultimatum to ensure that a committee set up by government on the proposed wage complete its work. The Labour leaders who are members of the Minimum Wage Committee had said they were not pleased with the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige. Now some economic stories where every Wednesday is set aside as market day at one of Abuja's most popular markets. But this week's Wednesday was different for them as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and his entourage showed up on a surprise visit. The Bureau of Public Enterprise says the sale of 21% of federal government shares in the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting to the Central Bank of Nigeria will contribute over 17 billion naira to the National Treasury. BPE Director General Alex Oko said this at the signing ceremony for the sale of the 12.4 billion shares at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Emmanuel Hijene reports.
This is the climax of what looks like an internal privatization process. The government has just concluded the sale of 21% of its shares in Nigerian Minting and Printing Company to the Central Bank. BPE Director General says the transaction represents another success in government's privatization and commercialization program. He also provides insight into why the CBN is getting the shares. The global market for security printing was worth $27.2 billion in 2017, and is estimated to grow at about 4.8% annually to $34.3 billion by 2022.
Your Excellency, I'm pleased to report that CBN's strategic investment in the company was a huge success, achieving its objective of turning around the fortunes of the company and returning it to profitability. This is eloquently alluded to by the following performance indicators. Revenue has increased at a compound annual growth rate of 15.75% since 2013. Gross profit has increased from 5.4 billion in 2013 to 12.4 billion in 2016, representing a compound annual growth rate of 32%. Earnings before interest and taxes has increased at a compound annual growth rate of 146% from 444 million in 2013 to 6.6 billion in 2016. Profit before tax of 3 billion was recorded in 2016 compared with 814 million in 2013, representing a compound annual growth rate of 53.7%.
The CBN governor on his part spoke about the Minting and Printing Company as a sensitive enterprise that must be protected and preserved.
Mint, I repeat, is an asset that has a capacity not only for producing currency for just Nigeria, but also even the ECOWAS sub-region. Mint also has a capacity as a security company to produce sensitive security documents, not only for government, but even for private sector. The Mint has the capacity to do this, but unfortunately, they slided into being a loss-making venture. We have taken it upon ourselves, and in the last 4.5 years, the CBN and the Mint stopped importing currency. The capacity of the Mint has increased, has been expanded, and now produces all the currency that is needed in the country. The Mint's capacity has been expanded to a point where it has idle capacity that can even produce for other ECOWAS sub-region. We intend to embark on an aggressive marketing to see to it that not only that Mint produces for itself, but also produces for other important stakeholders that may require services in the area of currency printing.
The leadership of the company also used the opportunity to call on INEC and other local enterprises to patronize it. This, they say, is because of its capacity to deliver.
So lucky to have some of us, the management staff from the private sector, and we brought our wealth of experience from the private sector to blend it. We work to fund the public sector to turn around the company. But actually, Mint is a gold mine, and what we have achieved is nothing compared to what we are capable of achieving. So this is just the estimate. We believe that we'll be able to do much better over time.
Part of the privatization and commercialization mandate of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, we believe that a strategic company like the Security Printing and Minting Company is better sold or privatized in a strategic manner. Because of the sensitive nature of the services, we believe that an institution like the Central Bank of Nigeria is best able to invest and manage the services of the Mint better than any ordinary private investor. So we believe that in order to have efficiency introduced into the operations of the Mint, the central bank, also being the major consumer of the products of the Mint, are better able to do this investment.
BP describes CBN's involvement as a strategic investment to enable it to manage, restructure and restore the company to profitability within a period not exceeding 5 years, after which it will be privatized by the Bureau. Emmanuel Ejene, PTV News, Abuja.
Transactions on the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Wednesday assumed a downward trend, with the all-share index dropping by 0.02%. The index shared 5.88 points, or 0.02% on Wednesday, to close at 32,375.12 against 32,381 on Tuesday. Also, the market capitalization shared 2 billion naira, or 0.02%, to close at 11.819 trillion, in contrast with 11.821 trillion on Tuesday. An analysis on the price movement chart indicated that the prices of 13 stocks depreciated while 24 stocks appreciated. International breweries led the losers table with a loss of 2 naira to close at 30 naira per share. In all, investors bought and sold 190.35 million shares, valued at 1.77 billion naira in 2,780 deals, representing a decrease by 29.45%. This is in contrast with a total of 296.81 million shares worth 2.65 billion naira achieved in over 7,000 deals. You're watching PTV today. Don't forget to watch us live anywhere across the world by downloading our mobile app on the Google Play and Apple stores. You can also watch us live via the website. It's www.ptvng.com/live. Don't also forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram at PTV_NG.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go, anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android, or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news, analysis, and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Welcome back now to foreign news, where U.S. President Donald Trump has said he does not have an attorney general in the fiercest attack yet on Jeff Sessions. Trump renewed criticisms of Sessions' decision to step aside from the inquiry into alleged Russian interference in 2016 elections. He also said he was unhappy with Sessions' response to immigration. The attorney general is yet to respond to Trump's comment. It's unusual for a sitting president to attack the attorney general, and critics accuse Trump of trying to meddle in the legal system. So in the U.S. now, 2 mental health patients have died when the police van they were being transported got caught in floodwaters in the U.S. The 2 officers escorting the pair were eventually rescued. The patient's death bring the death toll from Storm Florence to 37. Thousands of homes and roadways in the region remain underwater less than a week after the storm made landfall. President Donald Trump arrived in North Carolina on Wednesday to survey damage. Trump praised the response to the devastating storm by federal and local disaster officials at a news conference in North Carolina on Wednesday morning. And to some Brexit talks now, where Theresa May is to warn the EU not to demand unacceptable in negotiations over Northern Ireland's borders. The Prime Minister will set out her case to other European leaders at a summit in Salzburg later. It comes after EU negotiator Michael Barnier suggested a shift in tone in his controversial backstop plan to avoid a hard border. The UK and EU both want to avoid a hard border, meaning any physical infrastructure like cameras or guard posts, but can't agree on how. May has previously rejected the EU's backstop plan, which involves keeping Northern Ireland aligned with its trading rules, saying it would divide up the UK. And now to Germany, where a police officer has been suspended while investigations proceed into an apparent xenophobic incident in an ice cream cafe in the German state of Baden-Württemberg. 6 men, including the 30-year-old officer, are under investigation in relation to an attack on mainly Turkish patrons of the cafe in the town of Wiesloch in the southwestern state, the ministry said on Wednesday. The 6, aged between 23 and 36, had been at bachelor's party on September 8. They are reported to have shouted xenophobic insults and politically motivated chants before attacking families sitting in front of the cafe with chairs. 5 people were slightly injured. And in the world of sports now, Juventus believe they can win the Champions League with Cristiano Ronaldo, but they had to start by beating Valencia 2-0 without him after he was controversially sent off on his debut in the competition for the Italian champions on Wednesday. A tearful Ronaldo left the pitch in disbelief in the 29th minute, having aimed a petulant but seemingly harmless kick at Valencia defender Jason Murillo, prompting referee Felix Brage to brandish the red card. And now Paul Pogba was the driving force with a brace as Manchester United recovered from a shaky start to record and ultimately convincing 3-0 win away to Young Boys in their opening Champions League game in Bern on Wednesday. Skipper Pogba's superb opening goal cut down the Swiss champions in their prime, and he then doubled the English side's lead from a penalty just before the break. The France star also set up the third goal for compatriot Anthony Martial in the second half. The goal occurred after his compatriot's good work left him with time and space to find the back of the net. Roused by a vocal home crowd, Young Boys charged at United in the opening 30 minutes, forcing 2 saves by David De Gea. The Spanish goalkeeper kept out long-range efforts from Mohamed Ali Kamara and Christian Fesnach. United's defense looked vulnerable on either flanks to the home team's breakaways, although 19-year-old Portuguese right-back Diogo Dalot showed pace going forward in his debut for the Premier League side. United maintained cruise control in the second half as Jose Mourinho's sides won. That's the much you can take on PTV today. Many thanks for watching. I am Daniel Mwaboso.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you. People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search PTV Nigeria, download, it's free, it's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely. Personally.
From this interview, because you have said
there had hardly been any administration.
Under the law, no religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You've got to have a plan.
Don't go to bed without a plan of how you're going to handle the next day.
You have to work at it every day. You have to plan.
Productivity is never an accident. I want you to understand that it's not going to happen by luck.
Success is cause and effect, not magic luck or magic fairy dust. Success is easy. It's making a plan and executing the plan every day. Make a plan, work the plan. Make a plan, work the plan. And whenever the plan doesn't work, you change the plan. That's called failure. It's called learning a lesson. It's called adjusting. If you do the work and you do it for a long enough time, you will be successful. Period.
Whatever it is you're bold enough to dream, if you are intentional and deliberate about it, every single day, if you do a little, you're going to wake up one day and your dreams are going to be a reality.
The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. And if you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. To reach goals and overcome obstacles and be the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way. There is only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline. Discipline, the root of all good qualities, the driver of daily execution. Discipline defeats the infinite excuses that say, not today, not now, I need a rest, I'll do it tomorrow. There is only one way, the way of discipline.
There is power in consistency. There is power in doing something over and over and over and over again. There is power in practice.
And your problem is, you are on beast mode Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 10 a.m. to 12, beast mode, 1 to 5.
You keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping.
I challenge you. I challenge you to make up the gap. I challenge you to go from average. I challenge you to go from good. I challenge you to go from great. And I challenge you to be phenomenal. I challenge you to live in beast mode, because beast mode makes more money than average does, period. When you are a true hunter, you don't go by time, you go by the gazelle. You don't hunt from 8 to 3, why? Because the gazelle may not be open from 8 to 3. You hunt until you get a gazelle, and you don't stop until you get one. And then you get another, and then you get another, and you get another.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Did you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the tallest reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
News 24 Extra is taking it up a notch. You can now have news curated to your interest anywhere in the world with real-time notifications. Just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store on iOS. Search News 24 Extra. Download. It's free. It's easy. Now you can catch up with the latest news in politics, entertainment, lifestyle, sports, and much more. So stay connected with News 24 Extra. News at your fingertips.
My name is Femi Anikulapo Kuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you. Don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for us to have a peaceful elections. We need to think about the future of this country, of our children. We can be a great nation. And the first step is desist from being violent. Let's have a peaceful elections.
No more. No more excuses. No more, I'll start tomorrow. No more, just this one time. No more accepting the shortfalls of my own will. No more taking the easy road. No more bowing down to whatever unhealthy or unproductive thoughts that float through my mind. No. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more indecision. No more lies. And no more weakness. Now is the time for strength. And through strength, and through will, and through unwavering discipline, I will become what I want to be.
Successful people don't give themselves a choice but to succeed. You guys have to get to the point where you're not giving yourself a choice. It is, I am going to fucking succeed no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult the road, no matter how many people stand in my way, no matter what. On the days I don't feel like it, guess what? I'm still getting up, I'm still putting my fucking work boots on, and I'm still going out and kicking fucking ass. That's what people who succeed do. I challenge you guys to quit being victims and whiny little crybabies about every bad thing that happens to you and start being thankful that you have the opportunity to grow, get stronger, get more focused, get more skilled, and kick more ass because of every hardship you face.
I'm tired. I'm tired of people calling me saying, E.T., I put in 6 months. I don't see it. I put in a year. I ain't see it. Are you kidding me? You're about to stop the process because you can't see the prize? You're about to quit? You're about to give up? You cannot give up because it ain't what you see. You cannot give up. And if you don't see nothing, if you don't see no results, you don't give up and you don't give in because you're not doing it for the accomplishment. You're doing it because you are in love with the process. Champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank. When it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they spent their last dime, that's when they get started. It's when you have nothing left. That's when it's showtime. When you find a way out of no way, when you find breath that you don't have, when you find energy that did not exist, when you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
How do you motivate yourself?
One of the things that we must do is that we must be involved in working on achieving self-mastery. You must work on yourself continuously. Never be satisfied with yourself. Always know that as you invest the effort and time on you, that's the greatest ability that human beings have above animals. See, a dog can't be anything but a dog. Tree can't be anything but a tree. Human being, you've got unlimited potential. You can put effort on you, and by concentrating on you and developing you, you can transform your life wherever you are right now. So you want to work on yourself. You want to read books that inspire you and motivate you. You want to listen to tapes over and over and over again. And I suggest that you listen to tapes when you first get up in the morning. You want to control the spirit of your day. When you first wake up in the morning, your mind is operating at 10.5 wave cycles per second. That's when the subconscious mind is most impressionable. Whatever you hear in the first 20 minutes when you wake up, that will affect the spirit of your day. When you listen to tapes, listen with relaxed belief, believing that this can happen for you. And by listening to them, listen to them over and over and over again, and you will get a breakthrough. And as you continue to work on yourself, you will begin to expand your vision of yourself. You'll begin to work towards self-mastery. And you will begin to see it reflect itself in all the dimensions of your life, your mental life, your physical life, your social life, in your relationships, your monetary life. So concentrate on developing yourself. Because if you don't, I guarantee you that you will make a settlement. And most people have. In addition to working on yourself, and as you work on yourself, you feel good about yourself, and as you feel better about yourself, you treat yourself differently. Develop a health plan. See, you can't feel well and do well if you don't have good health. You can't perform if you don't have your health. Your health is valuable. Develop a health plan. A plan that you will follow, because this is the only vehicle that you have to carry you through this experience called life. And you want to take good care of it because you love you enough. You care enough about you. And that's not easy. It is not easy having a health plan and sticking to it. But you're worth it doing it again and again and again. I have lost 22 pounds several times. Next thing is, as you take care of yourself, the next key is keys to motivation, to self-motivation. You want to live life with energy and passion. You want to make a conscious effort to be lively. See, in life, you either saying hello or goodbye. You either on the way or in the way. Leave dead people alone. Some folks just walking around looking sad. How you doing, honey? Stay away from these people. Just go away from them. It affects you. You want to smile. You want to be happy. You got a lot to be thankful for. But you watch some of the faces around you every day. And I tell you, some of these faces, they will put you in a depressed state of mind. So you want to avoid these kind of faces. When you see them coming, turn your head. Next thing is that you want to monitor your inner conversations. The things that you say to yourself. You want to watch them, and in watching them, you want to take charge. You don't really need to read anything. Forget all that. That's that inner conversation. Oh, you don't need to worry about trying to go into your own business. Forget that. You can't do that. What if you lose everything you've got? That inner conversation that stops you from doing the things you want to do less, don't do that. The next thing that is a key to self-motivation is that you've got to ask yourself, what do I want out of life? What do you want out of life? What do you want out of a job? What do you want out of a career? What do you want out of a relationship? What do you want? What gives you your life? How will you know when you got it? What will make you happy? You need to know. You need to start asking yourself some questions. What do I really, really, truly want? You need to be exact about that. Don't be vague. Oh, I just want to be happy. That's too vague. What will make you happy? How will you know when you got it? Zero in on it. Be exact. Be specific. And as you do that, that will stimulate that superconscious mind, or the reticular activating system of your mind, that will begin to find those things, to identify with it. And once you begin to determine that which you want, take the time to write it down. Don't just think about it. Write it down. That is a subjective process that engages the subconscious mind. Write it down. Once you write it down, read it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. Why is that important? Because what it will do, it will cause you to focus. It will cause you to concentrate. When that other conversation is going on telling you what you cannot do, telling you all of the impossibilities and all of the obstacles, your concentrating will begin to create a larger vision within yourself, and you start looking for and seeing some new opportunities. You start creating some openings for yourself. As you begin to read that every day, day in and day out, that will make you focus. That will discipline your thinking. And you'll get all kind of creative ideas. As I talk to you right now, being involved in this immersion process, you're going to create some openings for yourself. You're going to get some ideas. You're going to feel your adrenaline flowing, and you're going to think about something, some idea you had. You say, I want to go back and I'm going to look at that again from a different vantage point, not from the level of the problem of the obstacles that I encountered, but from a higher vantage point. Because what you will begin to see and to know as I talk to the higher consciousness within you, that you are powerful, that you are a miracle worker. And that inner conversation has conditioned you to believe that you are not. And as you begin to discover the truth of who you are, whatever challenge that you're facing in life, and if you're living, you're facing some challenge, you'll begin to know that you're powerful and that you're a miracle maker. So as you begin to write down exactly what it is that you want, read it every day. The next thing is, see yourself.
Yes, it's a beautiful Tuesday evening here in the nation's capital, and trust me, a whole lot going on in the politics. As usual, we have seen lots of drama, and we're yet to see more drama talking about the polity and the build-up to the elections in 2019. But there's one coming in less than, say, 5-6 days this weekend. It is the Osun elections, where the gladiators will battle it out for the soul of Osun State. Yes, INEC has come out to make very strong statements as regards vote buying and how they intend to make a statement with vote buying. We hope and we're waiting to see what they will do with that. Don't forget also that the debate that was held a couple of days ago, one party's flag bearer wasn't there. Well, we saw a few shades that was thrown. Nevertheless, voters will decide who their candidate, who the governor will be for the next 4 years in Osun State this Saturday. Anyway, this is the conversation, and we're looking at a few issues. I've talked about godfatherism, talk about vote buying, talk about the electoral reform, talk about the polity, and all of that. And I have with me here in the studio a seasoned man who understands the political party system, Nigeria, the polity, and all of these issues that I've just reeled out to you. He'll be joining me in a short while. But we're going to a short break. Don't forget you can watch us live across the world anywhere. Download our mobile app via our Google Play Store and the iOS Store. It's PTV Nigeria. You can also watch us live via our website. It's www.ptvng.com/live. Follow us on Twitter and My guest is Sesu Akume, spokesperson of the Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, yeah? ANRP, Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party. Yes, spokesperson. And also, you've been involved with the Bring Back Our Girls movement, yes, as a spokesperson as well. And you've been, you know, a major opinion leader when it comes to national issues and political issues and all of that. First of all, let's get to meet you. I mean, Bring Back Our Girls, was one of the things that, you know, put you out there that we basically have known you for. How did party politics get into the business?
Well, the issues about that Bring Back Our Girls, for instance, looks into, if you look at it generally, has to do with issues of governance, has to do with issues of bad governance. Because in the first place, if we had a functional government and we had a proper system in Nigeria, there wouldn't have been abduction in the first place. That was in 2014. We've had bad governance consistently up to now, and that's why we had Dapchi abduction. Unfortunately, we had one of our compatriots murdered yesterday. Sufaira Husseini was murdered by the terrorists yesterday. One of the 3 aid workers who was abducted since March. And so we have these issues. And you can see the response of the Nigerian state. A Nigerian citizen was murdered yesterday, and nobody said anything about it. No official government channel said anything about it. And so when you're advocating and saying, no, this ought to be this way, this ought to be that way, for how long shall we do it? And so we need to upgrade the quality of people who participate in our public sector. And part of the ways through of doing that is through the electoral process. And so we had to come together to form a party that would allow for people of certain minds, like minds, to come together, organize themselves, and play the role, instead of leaving it to people who don't care about our system and who just do things the way they want, instead of standing outside and talking about it. And so that's how party politics came in.
So it was born out of desire to, in summary, make things work.
Yes, indeed, because things are not working, and there's only so much you can say. There's only so much you can do. For instance, in the next election cycle, we're going to vote for a president, for governors, for National Assembly members, for State Assembly members. There's so much all of them can do if we have the right people in the right places. Okay. If we don't have, all we can do is to tell them to do what, for most of them, they don't have the capacity to do and don't even have the mind to do. So it's important to replace them and put the people who are public spirited in those places, and that's one of the means of going about it.
Okay, now your party has been involved in a couple of elections so far, since inception till now.
Yes.
How has it been? Have you fared?
Yeah, so our party got registered in December 2017. We're just about 9 months old. In fact, we're 9 months old. We've participated in some elections. We've done fairly well, and we've been building our system organically, and so we're doing quite fine. We'll participate in the next elections this Saturday, by the way. Yeah. So the most important thing is to start something, to build, to take baby steps, and then to learn to walk, and then to run, and then we're flying. But the most important thing is to start doing things and to lay a solid foundation whereby you can build on, and that's what we're doing, slowly and steadily, but surely.
But don't forget that a few people have criticized the Bring Back Our Girls movement. More like their criticism was the fact that you guys were being sponsored or put together by an opposition to undermine the efforts of the current administration. And boom, a party is out of that now. I mean, back and forth. What does it bring to mind?
No, I don't get a connection, because the party the government you're talking about was a government of the former administration. So when the former administration was in office, we were said, the Bring Back Our Girls movement, for instance, was said to have been sponsored or been sponsored by the government that is in office today.
Now, yes.
So the table switched. So the issue is, did Bring Back Our Girls shift because the so-called sponsors are now in office? Of course not. So Bring Back Our Girls is regime or administration neutral. And then they kept the consistency, the values, the system, the advocacy, everything on. In fact, tomorrow, the Bring Back Our Girls movement is going to the Villa tomorrow for another protest in the same government that formerly was said to be sponsoring that same movement. So it doesn't. So, but like I said, the whole thing has to do with failure of governance. And so if I, as a person, choose to say, okay, beyond doing the advocacy on this level, can we also organize other like-minded people to make sure that we get into the office? For instance, in the U.S. Congress, we have Bring Back Our Girls members. Every Wednesday, they do an advocacy. They take, they do Bring Back Our Girls sit out, and they take pictures, and that's the U.S. Congress. In the Nigerian National Assembly, you don't have anybody talking about Nigerian citizens. You don't have, like I said, yesterday one of us was murdered by the terrorists. I've not seen any National Assembly member, not one state assembly member, not one governor, not the president, anybody say anything about a Nigerian. So ask yourself, were this to happen in some other country where there are decent people who know what they're doing? Is that what would have been? So for how long shall we keep saying that this ought to be this way? The best thing is, just like the Chinese proverb says, it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. So while we're cursing the darkness, we can also light a candle. And so that's how the whole process is.
Okay, now let's talk about the lone girl from Dapchi who is still in captivity now, Leah Sharibu. We understand that some amount of money, yes, was paid for the other girls that were released, and many have wondered why Leah Sharibu, why is she still left behind? Now, that was a question to the Nigerian government. Why was it still she left behind?
Yes.
The Nigerian government has denied paying money, giving any financial, having any negotiations to these people. But a foreign investigation backed up by the UN has come out to, affirm that yes, some cash exchange hands and all of that. And then she's still in captivity. Now they have said that if you don't bring money, we'll kill her. What is the group's position on this, BBOG now?
Well, about that, the most important thing, our position on this issue has been very simple and has been very consistent, very straightforward. The issue is there are three approaches. First and foremost is for the government of Nigeria to use military might, to rescue our citizens and defeat the terrorists. That's one option. The other one is to negotiate with them and give them what they want and then get what you want. That's two. The third option is a combination of both. Use a carrot and stick. You use force and you use the negotiation. But the fourth one, which we would not accept, is sitting down and doing nothing and expecting that everybody's going to forget. The fourth option is off the table. So for those three, we've told the government that you're the one who have all the information, you have all the access, so you can determine, you can do weigh your pros and cons and know what best decision to take. So weigh your pros and cons and take the decision. The decision is yours to take. But on the issue of Leah Sharibu, it's a very, very unfortunate one that cannot be explained. How can it be said that 110 schoolgirls were abducted? For 3 days, hardly anybody said anything. There were only denials. And so Chibok girls repeated by itself the denials and then getting the numbers false and not going for a hot pursuit and recovering them and all the back and forth. April 2014 played itself all over again. And then some were back, the 110, 104 are back. Leah Sharibu is the only one who is still in captivity, and the government hasn't told us why she's in captivity. The people who came back said that, well, the reason it happened was because she refused to convert from Christianity to Islam, and so that's why she is. And so the government is already sending wrong signals, because what does it mean? Does it mean if you're a Muslim, you're protected, but when you're a Christian, you're not? A government shouldn't do that. A government, every citizen is equal, and then we're free to practice whatever religion we want. And so that's another dent on this regime for having made that such an error. And for now, that's how it is. And then the parents are in the dark. They don't know what's going on. But note that I said there were 110, 104 are back. 5 have not been accounted for. The government never said anything that, okay, this is what happened, never accounted for them, never reached their parents to say anything. And so that's where the problem is. And so it's not just with this regime, it's just with the bad governance we've been having since for a very long time now. And so it's very important for people who feel strongly about this to organize themselves and see what can be done to get into that system and upturn it positively in a way that we can start building a nation, because right now we don't have a nation.
But what would have NRP done differently? I mean, if there was such a position, I mean, it's a tight corner.
What is a tight corner?
I mean, negotiating with terrorists, it's quite delicate. You have to do it with lots of tactics and wisdom, so that you don't lose this one Nigerian girl.
Indeed.
So What gives the impression that the government is just sitting down without doing anything?
Yeah, the government is just sitting down and not doing anything because that's the fact. Because if there weren't facts, there should have been information to different people at different times. For instance,
do they have to always come out and
give, that's what I said.
Like update on
that's
moves.
Precisely what I said. I said information to different people at different times in different degrees. For instance, if it's your own child, I should be able to communicate to you and tell you that we're sorry it happened to your child, but we care so much, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. But for these other ones, just know that you're not forgotten, because that person is a precious Nigerian soul, and every Nigerian is equal. No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any other Nigerian. So what that means is, Liai Sharibu is as important as Zara Buhari. That's how important it is. So if it were, for instance, Zara Buhari, who was in captivity, is that how everybody will go about their business? The president will go campaigning and be going about as if nothing's at stake? No. So that's how it is. Every Nigerian is equal. Equal. That's what it means. So you tell the parents, this is what's going on. You tell the community, this is what's going on. And then you tell the public that this is what's going on. That's what any other normal system would do. Not keeping quiet and pretending that nothing happened, and then so that eventually everybody's going to forget about it. Systems don't work that way. Countries are not built that way.
Okay. So in the last 2 or 3 years that the group has been in active participation now, what has been the achievement for this formation? That is, if we didn't have BBOG, what would we have lost?
BBOG is 4.5 years.
4.5 years?
Yes, it's getting to 5 years, unfortunately.
Wow.
The advocacy didn't intend lasting for more than a day, because we had assumed that we had a functional system. We thought that if more than 200 schoolgirls are taken, the nation and the administration would be jolted and say, no, what's this? And sit down, fold their sleeves, and do whatever needs to be done to make sure that they're back within a few days, a week maximum. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Up to now, we don't have anything close to that. And so that's what needs to, that's part of the reason that we need a different set of people in our governance system. That's why. We don't need people who lack empathy, people who can't connect with other people's pains. People who, because they're living in a certain way, living off us, forget that there are people who are actually suffering, and that Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world, that we're insecure, that the fact that we don't have electricity is slowing us down, because the fact that you are living your life on generators funded by the state doesn't mean that out there's electricity. And so there are people who are completely disoriented and have lost track of reality, and that's why it's important for people to organize in order to get into that system. But to answer what BPG has been able to achieve some things, that's not our goal. We wanted all our Chibok girls to be back. 107 of them are back, 112 remain missing, but we cannot discountenance some of the things that have been able to be done. I mean, 107 wouldn't have it back in the first place. There was an abduction of 16 women, Lassa women, including police women. The police denied that it happened. The government kept quiet. It was that movement that kept talking about it. It forced President Buhari to admit that indeed Dapchi women were, Lassa women were abducted, including police women, and that his administration was going to do whatever it could to bring them back. Today, 10 of them are back. The 6 who couldn't come back were identified as police women and were murdered by the terrorists. That's why they're not back, but the 10 are back. There's also the University of Maiduguri lecturers, 3 of them, who of the Department of Geology. They were part of an oil exploration in the Lake Chad Basin area. They were abducted, and nobody was saying anything about it, and that's how it would have gone, just like the Lassa women. It was this same persistence and all of that. Today, all 3 of them are back. The government wasn't saying anything about it, wasn't doing anything about it. And we had to keep fighting, and we had to have confrontations with the police, and to have and all of that, and do all, it hasn't been fun indeed. But the most important thing is they're back. Dr. Solomon Nehemiah Yusuf, whose wife was pregnant when he was abducted. When she heard the news, she went into forced labor and gave birth to a baby. You can imagine that. So for all the while, Dr. Yusuf was in captivity. He hadn't seen his daughter. The daughter hadn't seen the father. And the wife risks her life from hearing that shock. So these are not just fairy tales. These are life stories of human beings. And so imagine what would have been if he never came back, and if nobody said anything, and the government went to sleep and went about their politics, because for them that's what's most important, instead of governance. And so that's part of what NRP, for instance, always remind the government to focus more on governance than on politics. We do too much politics. Okay. So in 2019, 2018, we're already talking of 2023. When right now our economy is growing negatively, which means more people are losing their jobs, which means life is getting more difficult, which means and there's more insecurity. These are things we should be focusing on, not talking about elections. Okay,
hold your thought there, Sesu Akume. I'll be speaking with Sesu Akume, a spokesperson of ANRP, yes, Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party. We'll be back in a short time, and we need to get the policies and what the party stands for, as well as his take on a few other national issues. But don't go anywhere, it's the conversation here on People's Television.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Welcome back. It has been the conversation, and have been speaking with Sesu Akume, and he's been here talking about a few issues, and extracting some of the activities that he's been part of, talking about ANRP as well as BBOG. But let's talk about some of the policies of this government now. Let's look at the Nigeria-China trade ties now. We've had, first it started with the currency swap, the Nigerian-Chinese currency swap. That made it easy for Nigerians to do business directly from to China or with China, and also for them to do business with us directly. We don't have to go through the dollar and get business done. We can take our naira or get Chinese yen straight up and do our business there. Yet a few people came and criticized the system. Can't we just get it right once with this administration? What exactly is your thoughts on that? And then he moved from that to taking a loan, and many credit out the loan. But we have seen our railways are working. We've seen more rail tracks set for to connect more cities, especially business hubs or cities that are open to business, like the Aba, like the East-West area, like the Ibadan, Lagos, like all of this. We've seen all of this, and I've used it. I've traveled by train, in like some few